White, and as we said throughout the season, this figures to be one of the big ball games of the year, and Tim Williams kicks it out of bounds on his first try. I saw him a while ago try to warm up, and he never did really get his foot on it, and so I expect the place kickers might be in for a tough day.
It's not going to be a game for the place kickers, the finesse players, the skill players. So we mentioned it's going to be the big uglies.
Kerry Collins is the quarterback for the Penn State Nittany Lions, and he goes into the huddle now. All white for Penn State, and that's going to last about one series, and then they'll all take on sort of a gray look as the mud covers their bodies, and they will today. The temperature is less than 40, not expected to go beyond 40 today, but the snow for the moment has let up as we're ready for the first offensive play with Carter and O'Neal behind Kerry Collins. He gives it to Carter. And Carter coming to the outside. He is thrown out of bounds. Face mask called at the 43-yard line. So tack on another 5 at least at the end of the play, and it will be a first down for Penn State. The referee today is Dick Honig. Here's Collins. He has 12 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in his career, lining up in the backfield and at the wideouts behind him. Bobby Ingram is the speed merchant. He's the junior out of Camden, South Carolina, probably one of the fastest men on the field, if not the fastest. And for the Ohio State defenders, they better know where he is all day long. The ball comes all the way after the face mask call to just beyond the 48-yard line, and a first down for the Nittany Lions. Collins will throw it, slips a little bit, and throws it to the ground. His back foot slipped just as he started to let it go. Up front for Penn State, they are not the biggest in the land, but they are very agile, and Jeff Hartings is a particularly good one who comes out of St. Henry, Ohio. So they are the ones that have to try to protect their quarterback today.
And they've done a very good job of it this year, Keith. They lead the Big Ten in fewest number of sacks with only 6.
On second down and 10. Hand it to Kajana Carter, who slips away from one man behind the line of scrimmage. But very good defensive pursuit by Ohio State. Rolls him out short of the line of scrimmage. Ohio State lines up with Brown, Wilkinson, Fickle, and Simmons, the down people, and Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson is the bell cow of that bunch at 6'5", 300 pounds, and a sophomore. Lorenzo Stiles, you want to keep your eye on 90-some today. He is fun to watch. He's a wrecker. The secondary for the Buckeyes, experienced. Kerner is the speed merchant. Nelson and Walton, tough guys. Taylor, great leaper. Back goes Collins, lets it go, has his tight end, Kyle Brady, and it's a first down at the 40. So he throws to the big tight end, 6'6", 250-pound Kyle Brady, and gets a first down out of it. Joe Paterno, a walking living legend right there. His 28th season at Penn State. You can see he has won 252 games. And I don't know of anybody in Division 1A walking around the sidelines who can say that. John Cooper, on the other hand, has been at Tulsa and at Arizona State, and now at Ohio State with a record of 124 wins in his 17 seasons. This is Kajana Carter with a fake. Collins rolls it out, throws intended for the tight end Brady, and Brady well covered by Mark Williams. Carter carried out a good fake on the play, had 2 Buckeyes pursuing him, but the other side of the field covered the tight end very well, as Notre Dame got a kind of a slow start but rolled on easily over Navy.
Penn State has not played this is the second game they're playing in the last 28 days. They had a bye week this past game, and then before the Michigan game 2 weeks ago, another bye week, so look for their timing to be off a little bit. So far, it's been pretty good.
Ball is just inside the 40, call it the 39, pitch the ball back to Kajana Carter, and Carter running behind big number 79, Mike Malinowski, kind of hiding in his would-be shadow. Gets a good gain out of the play down to the 31-yard line. He's got to go just inside the 29 to get the first down, so he needs a couple of yards. Wisconsin jumped out to a 13-3 lead over Michigan. The Wolverines have come back to make it 13-10 in another very important Big Ten Conference game. Third down, 2.5. Pitch it to Carter. Wall of blockers, and he has the first down. 1, 2, 3, 4 people in front of him. Looked like an old single wing play.
It's just a big offensive line, man-to-man up front, and the speed of Carter getting around the end. He has had 5 games of over 100 yards in the first 6 games this year for Penn State, has Carter.
First quarter of play, the first possession of the ball game. And it's first down for the Nittany Lions at the Ohio State 27. Kajana Carter. Out of bounds at the 23-yard line. So the Penn State Nittany Lions in the first possession of the ball game, crunching it down the field. They started at the 35 when Williams kicked it out of bounds. And on one occasion, the tight end hooked up with his quarterback to complete the first down play on 3rd and long. And now they're sitting at the 23 of Ohio State, where it is 2nd down and 6. Wisconsin has beaten Michigan 13-10, and the sky has fallen on the Wolverines in the '93 season. Kerry Collins back to throw on 2nd and 6, goes underneath to his fullback, and Brian O'Neill slides out of bounds down at the 14-yard line for a first down for Penn State. The big story coming into the game, of course, was that Ohio State in its opening possession had scored in 7 consecutive games, and now Penn State is trying to do the same thing to them.
Exactly, Keith. Watch the fullback as the fake is going to be made to the tailback. He's going to slide out and just drift out into the flat. The corner at the top of the screen is in a bind. The receiver's out there, and the fullback is out there. Nice pickup.
First down. Call at the 15-yard line. Pitch it to Kajana Carter. Caught behind the line of scrimmage. Breaks the tackle. He got away from Dan Wilkinson. Broke the tackle there and moved it down near the 12 for a pickup of 3.
72 in the red jersey is Wilkinson. Nobody blocks him that time. Usually he is double teamed. This young man, a sophomore, made the all Big Ten team last year as a redshirt freshman, and he can dominate. He is disruptive. He'll be all over the field today. Penn State will be double teaming him a lot this afternoon.
Mike Archie has checked into the backfield now for Penn State. He's number 2. Kerry Collins sets and throws to Archie, and it is off his hands, dropped incomplete. It was low and a little behind him.
Well, the game plan early for Penn State was to throw the ball to your tight end and your back. Still the short stuff. Just move the ball down the field, and then, of course, get Carter, the tailback, on some plays. And Carter, surprisingly, Keith, has had some good footing going around in.
This is the 12th play of this possession.
These plays are all scripted. Paterno is calling them, but he made those calls yesterday and on Thursday.
Archie and O'Neill in the backfield.
Here they come.
Back. The pass is incomplete. The pass was intended for Chip LaBarca on 3rd down and 7. LaBarca could not make the catch off the grass, losing his footing on the sidelines, and in comes Craig Fayak, who needs 3 points to tie Lydell Mitchell as the all-time Penn State scorer at 246.
Ohio State, the critical 3rd down situation comes with the blitz. Tight coverage on the outside.
It'll be a 29-yard field goal try. Snap was high. The kick is up. It hits the upright and goes inside good. So it's good just barely, and so Craig Fayak is in the history book. Penn State has gone to the lead, but just barely. Watch this ball. Ball. And inside. 3-0. Nittany Lions have the lead.
The official on the bottom right wasn't too sure. Of course, it was not his call. I was impressed with the offensive drive of Penn State. As I mentioned, they've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. That doesn't necessarily mean it's good. Here's a score. Look at the scoring drive. 6 runs and 6 passes. Nice mixture. Sometimes when you're off too much, and as I mentioned, they had an open week before their game 2 weeks ago with Michigan, and I think that can affect your timing and you're not as sharp, but that opening drive, a very good drive for Penn State.
Well, it's 12:54 left to play in the first quarter, and they were out of bounds on almost every play. They had 4 incomplete passes. They've used almost no time for that long a drive and that many plays. Butler, Benote, and Terry Glenn are the deep people, and now they've got to hold the ball as the wind swirls around and it's starting to snow again. There was a period of about an hour this morning when it really snowed hard. Big flakes coming down. You'd have thought it was February. Slipped a little bit when he kicked it. Picked up finally at the 10-yard line by Benote. And Butler looking along the sidelines, hunting for a place to get some firm footing, and he gets it out to about the 35-yard line. The Ohio State Buckeyes football team has scored in their first possession of 7 consecutive ball games. They have put up 5 touchdowns and 2 field goals. It's been quite remarkable. But Penn State showed that they can do the same in their opening possession. So we'll see what happens now with the Buckeyes.
See that animation and you talking, I thought I was back with the good old boys down in Carolinas.
Drag racing, drag racing. Raceway Park in Indianapolis. Raymond Harris, Jeff Coughlin set behind Bobby Hoying. And Sander in motion. And Hoying rolls out and looks and throws underneath the coverage. Coming out of the backfield, it's Jeff Coughlin, the big fullback. He's down to the Penn State 35-yard line and a first down for the Buckeyes. Now let's check in with John Saunders.
Keith, here's how they wound up Florida against Georgia. Eric Zier, no time left on the clock. To Thomas, he drops the ball and what would have been a chance to tie the game or win the game with a 2-point conversion. Florida hangs on 33-26. Keith.
Looks like they had a pretty good mud hole down there in the Gator Bowl, didn't it? Penn State out to the lead 3-0. They put the ball at the 36-yard line. First down, Ohio State, their first possession. They've had 1 play, scrimmage. Here's your second one. And Bob Hoying lets it go again. His man falls down. Galloway, Joey Galloway coming across, fell down. Derek Bonner almost intercepted it.
Let's go back and look at the first play. Left side of your screen. It's going to be play action. Watch the linebacker right here. See him slipping? The field is very treacherous. If you're going straight ahead, it's all right, but guys are going to be slipping all day long.
Well, they leave the grass at 1.5 inches, and when the grass gets wet and gets packed down, it just gets slick.
Yeah.
Butler Benote, the skater, is in the backfield.
It's a good term. It's like ice out there.
Butler nimble-footed, thinking perhaps that he'll find some places to run. He found a pretty good place to make that cut. Puts his foot down and turns it upfield for about 5 yards. Bobby Hoying is a 6'4", 223-pound sophomore from St. Henry, Ohio. Yes, he's comes from the same town as Harding, the guard for Penn State. You see his 1993 totals. Joey Galloway is the speed merchant for the Ohio State offense, but Chris Sanders is actually faster afoot. But it's Galloway who's been making the big plays for the Buckeye offense. Raymond Harris has been a workhorse in the Bucs offense. It is 3rd down, 6. Hoying runs away from the pursuit, got away from the Penn State man, and he's going to get the first down at the 25-yard line. So Bobby Hoying is a big man who's not afraid to pull it down and run with it. And he runs behind a bunch. Well, I mean, these are big people. In 78, Corey Stringer is only a sophomore, and there are people who say that this guy could probably step right off the campus and go right to that Sunday league.
Well, he is a sophomore, Keith. The other 4 players are 5th-year seniors. They are all very good, but the best of the lot is the sophomore.
It's first down, Ohio State at the Penn State 25. Nittany Lions have the lead, 3-0 on a 29-yard field goal ricocheted in by Craig Fayak. This is Raymond Harris, a 225-pound senior from Lorain, Ohio, the tailback, slamming in there. The defensive front for Penn State, Ravani, Benfati, Clare, and Jackson, a good one, particularly Benfati in Jackson. And the matchup down in the middle and in the trenches today is just really something to watch. Gelsheiser, last time we saw him in the game against Michigan, had 16 tackles. So he's obviously the bell cow of that defense. Of course, a middle linebacker at Penn State always gets a lot of action.
They set it up for him, don't they?
Yep. The secondary, very good. Bunch of tough guys back there. Butler Benote is back in the ball game for Ohio State. He's got the ball running in between the tackles. First down, Ohio State at the Penn State 14. Hammer 'em, hammer 'em, hammer 'em. I think that's what you're going to see more and more as the day goes on. Just beat on them.
Watch the line as they're all going to block down, but watch the block of the fullback as he comes and blocks on the inside, on the outside linebacker through the hole just off the tackle. A huge hole. Fullback good blocking. Gelsheiser is knocked off by Mono, and a nice play.
That Cothran's a good one. He will put a hat on you. First down, Ohio State, Penn State 14, and here goes Benote. He's inside the 5 and down to the floor. It's first down and goal as Gelsheiser runs him out of bounds.
This is a nice play. The offensive line gets him outside, but it's the wide receiver, Glenn, 83. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. You may see right there, the man, the corner was on the ground. That was Forbes. Glenn blocking Forbes, the wide receiver that blocks. Getting to be something of a rarity. Well, at least in pro ball, maybe college ball, they still block some. That's the, you can make average plays into big plays if your wide receivers can block safeties and corners.
Remember now, Ohio State has scored on its first possession in 7 consecutive games. 5 touchdowns and 2 field goals. And Raymond Harris, the big back, is back on the field now behind Jeff Cothran, who's also a big back at 242 pounds. First and goal at the Penn State 4. It's Harris. Touchdown, Buckeye. Consecutive games they've scored off the initial possession. Joe Hollins and the offensive coaching staff at Ohio State, they script the first 15 plays, and it's been working for them. Tim Williams for the point. Good. It's 7-3, Ohio State leading Penn State.
Left side, that's Winrow, 68. Winrow, Saunders, 85. And he walks in for the score.
That's football on ABC Sports, brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Valvoline, people who know used Valvoline. Speed Stick deodorant and Speed Stick antiperspirant, the #1 for movers and shakers. And Compact Computer Corporation. Yes, it's snowing in Columbus, Ohio. And it's cold. And it's 7-3, Ohio State leading. To amplify a bit on what you see there, inside the opponent's 20, the Buckeyes have scored 29 out of 31 times. And Williams, for the second successive time, kicks the ball out of bounds. And Penn State will start at the 35-yard line. So Tim Williams has had a terrible time getting himself planted to kick the ball. Even in the warm-ups, he was having a hard time, and successively now he has kicked it out of bounds.
6 rushes, 2 passes for that Ohio State drive that produced their first touchdown of the game. Keith, one of the reasons he's kicking it out of bounds, he may be kicking it away. Penn State leads the Big Ten in kickoff returns.
Kajana Carter and Brian O'Neill are in the backfield behind Kerry Collins for the Lions, and they give it to Carter, and Carter's got daylight on the left side. Big run, crosses midfield, goes all the way to the Ohio State 49-yard line. Wisconsin has beaten Michigan. Ohio State goes to Madison next week. Indiana is leading Michigan State. They come here in 2 weeks to Columbus. Northwestern is leading Illinois 10-6. That would be an upset. And Iowa looks like they may win one. In that first Penn State possession, Ohio State's Craig Powell had 4 tackles. So Craig's been very busy. Here's the handoff again to Kajana Carter, and he'll punch it down to about the 45-yard line. Randall Brown on that tackle.
Keith, let's go back to the previous play. Right here is Wilkinson, number 72. It's going to be a sucker play. The guard's going to pull, and nobody is going to block Wilkinson as the ball is going to be run right through the hole where Wilkinson is. Watch him, 72. Nobody touches him. When someone is that quick upfield, sometimes you don't even have to touch them to get through the hole. One thing that Penn State's taken advantage of.
It's second down, and we got flags and whistles. It's against Penn State.
Dead ball, legal procedure on the offense, 5 yards.
Look at that
Still
score.
second down.
Kansas State beat Oklahoma. Are you kidding me? The earth may crack. It's been so long since that happened.
Kansas State has turned that program around.
Sure.
Snyder, he's the coach out there, is doing a great job, isn't he?
Seems so. Make it third down and 10 now from midfield. Actually, it's second down 11 call. As Kerry Collins throws and Chip LaBarca makes the catch, the senior from Bayville, New Jersey. Down at the 42-yard line. They've got to go near the 38 for a first down. Number 46 you're looking at there is Marlon Kerner. He is the speed merchant in the defensive secondary, and when Bobby Ingram turns on the Jets, probably the man who'll have the chore if they are in man coverage.
He had a big day a couple of weeks ago, last week against Purdue, for Marlon. And a touchdown back, an interception back, 100 yards.
Stephen Pitts is in the backfield, but the pass is away to Kyle Brady, the tight end. It's good for a first down. He's at the 37, and the Nittany Lions will move the chains as we pause 5 seconds so our ABC stations can tell you who they are.
This is Channel 2, WDTN Dayton Springfield.
We've got 8 minutes and 38 seconds left to play in the first quarter, with Ohio State leading Penn State 7-3. And in a very inclement day weather-wise, the offenses are marching up and down the field. We thought it would be a head-knocking bruiser of a defensive struggle.
It will be.
And lo and behold, they're just running up and down the field.
It will be.
Pretty good fake there as Kajana Carter runs in heavy traffic and picked up yardage when it didn't appear there was any there, because number 51 Mark Williams had a hold of him and couldn't hold onto the handle.
Keith, I think one of the reasons the offenses are doing so well early is the fact that both teams have scripted their plays. Penn State scripts about 15 or 20, and Ohio State does the same thing. And when you do that, when scripting means you plan on Thursday and Friday, you write down your best plays for different situations. You not only give confidence to your quarterback, but your offensive linemen, your receivers, everybody knows what their assignments are. You're more confident that those plays are going to work.
Collins rolling out, has some pursuit. Simmons is after him. The pass down the sidelines is out of bounds, incomplete. And rather than risk his body to considerable abuse with Jason Simmons pursuing him, he threw it away. Kajana Carter, to give you an idea of how things are going along offensively here so far, 9 carries and 51 yards.
Yeah.
And we've still got almost 8 minutes to play in the first quarter.
I think, Keith, to further expound on that point about scripting your plays, I think it relaxes the offensive team. The reason it doesn't work the entire game is because those are your best plays that you put on those first 15 plays. Eventually, the defense is going to stop those plays. You've got to go to other ones.
Mike Archie out of the backfield has the ball, and knocking him out of bounds is Marlon Kerner. Kerner had to come in a hurry because Archie is a quick one, and he gets him about 4 yards short of the first down. Got up this morning, looked out the window. The snow was coming down in my California body. Said, I ain't going out there.
Yeah, well, it snowed, I mean, until about just after game time, after it started, and there's still a few flurries, as you can see on your screen. But, I mean, it was really coming down for most of the morning.
All right, in slippery conditions, Craig Fayak is going to go for a 49-yard field goal try. 40 yards, his longest since 1992's opening game. Slipped a little bit when he hit it. Got it over by a yard. Squeezed it over. Check it for helium.
Check it for helium.
Ohio State 7 and Penn State 6. Watch this thing. It floats and it floats and it floats and it floats and it counts. Bowl. It was the first game played in the current stadium out in Pasadena, and Joe Paterno sorely wants to go there himself. And Craig Fayak, with that 49-yard field goal, has become the all-time scoring leader at Penn State University, and he slipped when he hit the ball. Kickoff. Good one. Back to the 5 for Benote. Got a block to the sideline. Out to the 33-yard line. First down, Ohio State. And ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, the Washington Redskins and the Buffalo Bills. The Redskins are having a terrible year. Bills are just plunking right along.
Everybody keeps trying to bury Buffalo, and they just keep coming right back. 3 years in a row, the AFC champions.
Old Kel just keeps putting axle grease on the elbow, and
that's it. Throwing
it hard. John Cooper enjoying this season at 7-0. His Buckeyes lead by a point, 7-6. The ball is on the 33. Benote is the single back. Put it on the 34-yard line. Officially, it's actually closer to the 33, as I'm sure you can see. And we've got people jumping all over the place, so we've got a foul coming up. But officially, in case you're wondering how they score this game, and most of the time they'll mark it on the next hash mark.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, 5 yards, 1st and 15.
Thank you, Mr. Hornick. Ed Manning is the umpire, Tom Ransom the linesman, Don Langlow the line judge, Bob Coleman the field judge, Danny Freund the site judge, and Tom Herbert is the back judge. The referee is the game captain. He wears the white hat. But sometimes, in a coach's perspective, it's a black hat. 1st and 15 after the penalty. Saunders, the tight end, goes in motion, gives him an extra block on the corner, and Benote can't get to the corner. He goes down at the 25. Loss of 3 as Bana and Ravati are over there, but actually it was the turf that did him in. When he planted to make his cut, his foot slipped out from under him. Michigan's PAT is virtually grassless. This one is having all kinds of trouble. They're going to have to change the flavor of the grass or something.
It's surprising because most of those style of types of fields have been very, very good.
Here's the pitch back to Raymond Harris. And Harris gets back up to the 31-yard line. Now let's check in again with John.
Big one in the Big 8, Keith, Nebraska and Colorado. Calvin Jones back to full speed here, gets hit, but dives into the end zone. 10 yards of the run, 14-3, the Cornhuskers with the lead. Keith.
And the Huskers are undefeated. This may be the last real hurdle for them, too, in Boulder today, where they had 5 inches of snow. You see the sun's out bright and shining. 3rd down at 14, and the pass down the middle is incomplete, intended for Joey Galloway, defended on the play. Very well. And it's going to bring up a 4th down. Scott Turner is the punter for Ohio State. He is from the Hawaiian Islands. Has not had a big year. His average is just over 36 yards per punt. Tough guy to get a hold of. Bobby Ingram is back waiting for Penn State. Porcher snaps it. Good kick this time. Boy, he nailed that one. He runs Ingram all the way back to the 14-yard line. Looks up. 2 would-be tacklers lose their footing trying to cut into him. And the ball carrier goes down at the 25, but it was a 54-yard punt. And here's the next one.
Keith, we all know that the Big Ten championship is at stake here, but there's something else. It's like a border war between Penn State and Ohio State in recruiting high school talent. Penn State has 13 players from Ohio on its roster, and Ohio State has 3. One of the 3 for Ohio State is Lorenzo Styles, an impact player, and of course for Penn State, Kajana Carter plays his high school about 10 minutes from here. With Penn State in the Big Ten, it's only going to be more intense between Ohio and Pennsylvania.
Did Sharina know you were going to wear that hat today?
He didn't know he was going to wear it until he got up this morning.
Brian O'Neill carries for, no, it's Whitman, 38. A sophomore out of Wrightsville, PA, carries on the right-hand side of the field. They haven't played much down there, so it's still pretty solid. Ball comes out just beyond the 26-yard line. 7-6. Ohio State is leading Penn State. And it is 2nd down.
That was
and 8.
Jerry Sandusky talking to his defense on the sideline.
Collins lost his footing and he's sacked. Well, Big Daddy got one. Dan Wilkinson, whose job it is to disrupt, get in the way, occupy space. Suddenly he is in the right place at the right time.
Nobody blocks him. You see him slip right there. Nobody touches him. Guys are slipping and sliding all over the place. That's the 2nd time today that Wilkinson was not blocked. Possible reason was a checkoff by the quarterback, and the lineman didn't pick it up. There are not many sacks by the Ohio State linebackers. Most of them are done by the defensive line.
That's only the 7th sack for the Penn State quarterback this season. Collins again slips, but puts a hand down and is able to get his pass away to Stephen Pitts. And Pitts gets it up around the 26. And in comes the kicking team.
All right, the first 3 possessions, they had points, 2 field goals and a touchdown. Now the last 2, the defense has held 3 and out. So it's shifting. You said expecting a defensive game. We're getting to that very quickly here.
B.J. Musillo. And it's Galloway back waiting for Ohio State. Joey Galloway from Bel Air, a junior, 5'10", 180, and he's pretty cute. Look out! Snap! Musillo gets it away. Good effort by Musillo. And Galloway fair catches the ball at the 46-yard line. So a very fine play by B.J. Musillo, and he gets away with a 29-yard punt. Disaster avoided.
Well, he's been around a while. He's a 5th-year senior. Very smart play. Not panic. Don't panic. You got time. Now he gets in between the 2 rushers and kicks the ball. You see they're sliding all over the place. No roughing the punter.
And Galloway decides that he will just fair catch it and ensure possession at the 46-yard line with Cuthron and Harris in the backfield behind Hoyer. This is Harris. And it's a pickup of a yard. At the conclusion of today's game, Chevrolet Most Valuable Player chosen from each team. 23rd year, the Chevrolet Scholarship Program has been in effect. $1,000 donated to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. 2nd down and 9 for Ohio State. Buckeyes leading 7-6. Bowling Green had a bit of a slow start. They're coming on now. Like Bowling Green always got pretty good football teams. 2nd down and 9 for Hoying as he looks over the defense, sets up and pops threw the ball into the ground. He just stands there and shakes his head. He did not have a grip on it. Apparently the ball came away upon the snap muddy. USC Trojans, we got some news about them in their ball game with California, and John will tell us about it.
All right, Keith, they have struck quickly a couple of times. Sean Walters from 2 yards out here. They missed the point after on their first touchdown. Went for 2, missed that. It's 12-0. Keith.
They're still in the hunt for that Rose Bowl. Cochran, the single back now for Ohio State, 242-pound senior from Middletown. And Hoying is looking at 3rd down and 9, has good protection. Gets it away. Pass is caught by Sanders. He's the track man. It's 1st down at the 28-yard line of Penn State. Chris Sanders, 6'1", 175, a junior from Denver.
The key to this, Keith, was the quarterback had time to throw. The inside man is going to clear throughout, and the outside man is going to come on the square end. But the key, this takes a little bit time to run this. As you see, Penn State back in a zone like a picket fence. You got to have time to wait for the square end to get in there, and the protection was good.
Hoying gives to Harris. And he moves the stack about 3 yards.
Been impressed with the quarterback, Keith, and watching tapes before the game. Bobby Hoying making his 8th start of the year for Ohio State. This is the 4th straight year that Ohio State has had a different starting quarterback. And Hoying is from Ohio. They'll also play Brett Powers. You take a look at the offense in the Big Ten.
Yeah, we should be due to see Powers in the next series.
He'll play the fourth and fifth series, and that is scripted also.
2nd down. Penalty flag as Harris breaks it over the left side for about 6 yards. A yard short of the 1st down, and let's see about the penalty. Lou Benfatti got the tackle. Call that big fella's name. Tyoka Jackson's been quiet so far. Picked up the flag. Didn't they? No, not yet. Linesman threw the flag here on the sidelines, the one I saw. There's been another one thrown that came after the play, so I don't know what's going on. We'll just simply wait it out until the discussion's over, and Dick will tell us.
Illegal participation, 12 men on the offense, 15 yards from the previous spot. Repeat the down.
Now, you know, that's a serious penalty right there. 15 yards for too many players on the field. Offensively, it's not the same penalty for the defense. If the defense have 15 men on it, it's just like that's being an offensive guy, you know, you always give me trouble about. I think that's fairly unfair to the offensive side.
Yeah, but why in the world you got 12 guys out there in the first place? Somebody didn't come off.
Well, it looks like Canadian football. I mean, you got 12 guys. It's not hard to tell you got an extra guy offensively if you're out there, and you should look around.
I'd send somebody that'd make them walk on.
That's a drive stopper right there.
Certainly is. You also lose the down plus the 15 yards. So from the 34-yard line, it comes all the way back. Down the middle, the pass intended for Galloway is incomplete, and boy, was he mugged. Oh, I want to tell you something. Lee Rubin just about took his head off. No loss of down.
Going to try and hit the back coming out of the backfield, but from the bottom left of the screen, number 39, Rubin is going to come. Left side right there. Now watch Rubin. He had a free shot. I think that's a good call.
That's a penalty.
Well, I think it's a good call, Keith. He was up He was up around the shoulder pads, and he didn't twist or turn or anything else like that. Could have done a lot worse.
You say that.
Ruben's a tough free safety. It's easy to call it from up here, isn't it?
4:20 in the afternoon, and it's 7-6. Ohio State leading Penn State. Columbus, snowing and raining, but the crowd is maybe a record and carrying on and having themselves a good time. It's been a lively crowd from the minute they started arriving. They're very much into this ball game, a game that has been anticipated in a long time. Third down and about 22 or 3. Bob Hoying rolls out to buy time, lets it go. Caught at the 10. Chris Sanders. I think Hoying will be the quarterback for some time to come, don't you?
No, I think they're going to stick with their plans, but this was a big play and a nice call by Joe Hollis. Key to this now, he's going to stop back and then roll out. Now, he's rolling out to get some time, but this receiver is going to come way down the field and across, and it was 3rd and 23. At the top of your screen, the offensive lineman blocking, getting contained, breaking contained. Now he throws all the way back to the center of the field. That is a huge first down.
This is Raymond Harris. Close to the 5-yard line as Raymond Harris just flies over the top of a State would-be tackler. And let's check in for a moment with Swanee.
Keith, Bob, before the game, I talked to John Cooper and asked him about the weather. He felt the snow, the wet conditions would be an advantage to his passing game. The reason being that the defensive line wouldn't be able to get a good pass rush. And his guys could drop back, semi-roll, and have all the time in the world to look for a receiver downfield. That last big play bore him out to be correct.
All righty. Ball is just short of the 5. It's 2nd down and goal. Remember, this red-shirted bunch is pretty good at sticking it in the end zone. This is Butler Benote getting down to about close to the 2-yard line. 29 of 31 times they have scored from inside the opponent's 20-yard line. And they're sitting down there on 3rd down and goal now from about 2.5 yards away.
Did you say 29 of 30?
31.
That ain't bad, is it?
No. The 24 touchdowns and 5 field goals.
Yep.
Joey Galloway is back in, and Raymond Harris is back in. So you get the big tailback, 225-pounder. Benote is a little quicker at 190. So you got the 2 hammers in there, Coughlin and Harris. And it's Harris. He's got a hole, but a good tackle. I mean, that was a lick by Thad Brennan, number 30, a junior from Chalfont, Pennsylvania.
Brennan, number 30, is a linebacker. He's going to go run through the hole. And he just kind of gets blocked, but he throws his back in there, right there, his back and his legs. Great play. He's a backup linebacker. Brennan actually is probably about 3rd-team linebacker, but Jerry Sandusky, the coordinator, likes to get these young kids in the ball game, give a lot of players a chance to play. That was a big play.
That's Derek Bonner shaken up on the play and has to come out. It is 4th down for Ohio State as we come toward the end of the quarter. And we'll probably see a field goal try to open the 2nd quarter of play, with Ohio State leading Penn State by a score of 7-6.
Look at the first quarter numbers. Plays are about the same. Both teams had the ball 3 possessions. 6 first downs apiece. Total yardage a little bit in favor of Ohio State. And they've had the ball about almost 2-1. in time of possession.
And right now, Tim Williams is going to try a field goal. Looks like a 22-yarder. He is the all-time field goal leader at Ohio State with 45 already. Let's see if he can get a good plant. Yes, he can, and knocked it through. He's got 46 in his career, and it's 10-6 now. Ohio State leads Penn State. That first quarter took about 52 minutes to play. Long quarter.
Keith, we've seen a lot of guys slipping, and you know, one of the things they try to do is wear different types of shoes, different lengths of cleats. You can have the screw-on cleat in college football. That's a kicker, obviously, trying to keep his foot warm. But there's a look. The length, the length is no longer than a half-inch that you can have. And Glenn Swan said that the grass was as much as an inch and a half long. And therein lies the problem. The sod is not coming up from the field. It's not muddy and coming up yet. It's that the length of the grass, and when it gets matted down, it's just like an ice rink out there. You can see every player on the sideline there had on the regular cleated shoe instead of the molded or plastic rubber shoe.
All right. Shelly Hammonds is number 21. Kajana Carter is number 32. They are the deep people for Penn State. Tim Williams is going to kick it off. This will be his third try at kicking off. The first two he kicked out of bounds.
Well, it may have been because Shelly Hammonds is second in the nation in kickoff returns at over 30 yards a return.
Well, he kicks this one right to it. 12-yard line. They get out to the 30. It's first down for Penn State. I don't know, on a day like this, though, I would just go ahead and kick it to him and send my hot man Alex Rodriguez and all those destroyers down the field and try to knock that ball loose from him.
Indiana beating Michigan State there. That's a big game, Indiana. 5 runs, 4 passes.
Kajana Carter and John Whitman in the backfield now behind Kerry Collins as the snow starts to come again. Collins gets his pass away down the field, and it should be intercepted, and is by Walton Taylor. And Taylor just drifted under that one like a center fielder on a lazy high pop fly.
Well, it's a poor decision, and Joe Paterno sees the frustration. They had planned this all week because Taylor, who intercepts this ball, has a nose trouble for getting up there trying to make the tackle a lot of plays. Now Collins doesn't check. He says, all right, this is what it's supposed to be. He's supposed to be up there, and he wasn't. Collins, play action in the film study. The free safety is always up there making this play, so this foot receiver behind him is going to be good. He doesn't even look, and he throws the ball. The safety wasn't up there, and Taylor made the interception.
Ingram was the intended receiver, and here's Brett Powers in on the 4th series, as we told you he would be. He is a senior, transferred here from Arizona State. The ball is pitched back to Raymond Harris, and the big back turns around the corner and goes for 7, close to 8 yards. Brett Powers is 6'5", 216-pound senior out of Glendale, Arizona. Good-looking young man. And he's a pretty good quarterback.
He's just not a journeyman either. He's a 5th-year senior. He started 8 games at Arizona State in '91, threw for over 1,500 yards and 8 touchdowns. So a nice situation here at quarterback for Ohio State. The young kid is the starter from Ohio, and the veteran is the backup.
And it's second down, long 2. Harris again, power football, right side. And they move the stack and move the chains. First down, 48-yard line. This is what's going on out in the Pac-10. Of course, that big one in the Pac-10 is undefeated Arizona at the Rose Bowl against UCLA in Pasadena tonight. And if Arizona can beat the Bruins, they've got to
It'll be an interesting game. Arizona with all that
UCLA
defense.
the last few weeks have been the best team in the conference.
I agree with you. I think they're very strong. Arizona, of course, doesn't have the offense, but they've got a lot of defense.
Minote is the tailback for the Buckeyes. And Hoying in trouble. Got it away, though, and completed it to Saunders, the tight end. That's not Hoying, it's Powers. Good play by Brett Powers at 6'5", 216. We were talking about that a while ago, about the difficulty of a man your size, Bob, playing quarterback on a day like this.
Yeah, well, this is watch this play. Both outside guys, Yeboah Cody and a safety, are going to blitz. Now, they taught the quarterback, if they're going to blitz, throw in the direction in which the blitz came, because there's going to be a hole or a cavity there. Play action, it's tough to do that, but he still got the ball out there.
Well, point being, the quarterback is 6'5", and 216 pounds. Big, strong guy, and he got it away.
And a fresh guy in the game, and they blitzed him.
Throws it again, and on the run, this time could not deliver it to the fullback, Cothran, out of the backfield. But you played at what, 6'1"?
6'1".
And small hand.
Yep, it was tough to throw in this weather.
Yep.
But these guys, as you mentioned, are big, and I'm sure they've got big hands. And there's not a controversy at Ohio State as far as the quarterbacks are concerned. They both get along very well. They know their place. Powers has come in the second half. In fact, against Michigan State, he played at the end of the game and really was in there when they won the game. But the following week, it was back to Bobby Hoying. They know their place, and it's a good situation.
It's 3rd down and 6 right now for Ohio State. They lead 10-6 over the Nittany Lions with the snow drifting down again. Good protection for Powers. Completes the pass to Galloway, and Galloway is just stripped by Derek Bonna. Otherwise, he might still be running. Bonna shaken up, comes back. Bonna oftentimes is shaken up and always seems to come back for the Lions.
Galloway's going to be coming from the left side. He is just the outlet. He is running a shallow across route. Number 7 right there. He is the outlet. He was looking downfield. You saw him take so long to throw the ball.
But to give you an idea of what the conditions are, Derek Bonna got one hand on him at the belt line, and he lost his footing and went down. 1st down for Ohio State at the Penn State 33. Brett Powers quickly. Galloway made the catch on one knee. And took a pretty good lick. And the Ohio State coaching staff, John Cooper in particular, went bounding on the field, screaming for a flag.
The reason he went down on one knee to catch the ball, and then they still got tackled, and he was down. The whistles were blowing. But it's tough to stop the defense, and there was really no. You know, the other thing about this quarterback stuff, Keith, you changing quarterbacks, you give the other quarterback, the starting quarterback, an opportunity to come to the sideline and stand on the sideline and watch what's going on. Calm down, relax a little bit, see the defense.
William Houston and Raymond Harris are your backs now. Houston in at fullback, replacing Cothran for the moment. And they give it to Harris. And he'll move it inside the 25. And it'll bring up 3rd down to about 2.5. You saw Alabama leading Southern Miss 9-0. Jay Barker, the Times' unbeaten quarterback, is sitting out this game down there in Tuscaloosa today. There's Hoying, wrapped up, sitting on the sideline.
Yeah, standing on the sideline, watching, paying attention. Yeah, I think that's good, Keith, because you're out there starting and playing, turning and handing off. You don't get to see sometimes what the coaches are talking about. Now he can lock in on the defense and see that, yeah, that's what you were talking about. I understand.
3rd and 2. Brett Powers gets his pass away. Man is wide open. Touchdown, Joey Galloway.
Little play action. He does a nice job. Infante is in there, but Powers runs away from the trouble, and Galloway beats Hammonds in the end zone. And the thing that bought time for Galloway was Powers scrambling around in the backfield. That's the 11th touchdown this year for Galloway.
Powers on that possession, 4 of 5, 49 yards, and the TD. Williams for the extra point. Good. 11:19 to go first half. Ohio State 17, Penn State 6.
And the PGA's richest prize are up for grabs when golf's top players tee off in the final round of the Tour Championship. Live tomorrow on ABC.
Give you some idea with the crowd as a background there of how hard it's snowing right now. But the ground not frozen and very little of it sticky.
This was the drive for Brett Powers, the backup quarterback. 8 plays, 64 yards, and Galloway, the 25-yard TD reception. I mentioned that was the 11th touchdown this year for Galloway. 9 by receiving and 2 on rushing or reverses.
Kajana Carter, who is from Westerville, Ohio, back there waiting for the ball, number 32. Williams slipped a little bit, popped it up. It's bobbled and fumbled by Whitman, and he almost dropped that thing. Fullback making the catch up around the 23, 24-yard line. So Penn State comes out of that with pretty good field position. They'll start about the 32. College football next Saturday. These Ohio State Buckeyes, who are leading now 17-6, will be going to Madison, Wisconsin, and we're going with them. Follow him right to the Rose Bowl. Louisville will be at Tennessee. Louisville committed to the Liberty Bowl last week. So Howard's got a bowl game for his folks. They love to rattle the Volunteers.
That'll be a big test for Louisville going down to
guarantee you.
Tennessee.
Tennessee rolls some big numbers today. This is Kajana Carter. He picks up 2-3 yards on the carry. Number 99, Luke Fickle, over to get a piece of him. Fickle is a redshirt freshman. He's also from Westerville, Ohio, where Kajana Carter came from. They knew each other, obviously.
Fickle, Keith, 3-time state wrestling champion. Nose guard, too. You know, that's what a great spot for him. In there wrestling with the center, and the guard usually gets double teamed.
Ryan O'Neal is back in there at fullback, but you give it to Carter. He'll get a yard on the play, and Walton Taylor, who had the interception a while ago, the free safety, puts a knot on Carter as he drills him out of bounds. Taylor's 6 feet, but he carries 196 pounds under all those pads.
Bill Young, the defensive coordinator, was saying yesterday that they've been very lucky to be free of injuries, not only this year on defense, but also last year.
Mike Archie checks in on 3rd down and a long 3. Terry Collins throws incomplete. Intercepted. Tim Walton, I think it was, number 18, a senior from Columbus, Georgia. But it was the pressure on the quarterback that cost him.
Somebody got a piece of his arm, and maybe Wilkinson. I think it's 72 Wilkinson that got a piece of his arm that caused the interception. The second turnover by Penn State by way of interception today. There's a look at Big Daddy. We said he is disruptive, and he is.
And Brett Powers handles series number 5. First down, Ohio State at their own 48-yard line after the interception. Eddie George is in the backfield, and he slips and goes down at the 40. When he took off, put one out from under him, and his knee hit the ground.
Here's Wilkinson right here. Now watch him as he's going to get in here and just disrupt everything that's going on. Only being blocked by one guy. It looked as though the tackle was expecting some help from the guard next to him, because he kind of jumped to the outside of Wilkinson, and Wilkinson just went right inside of him.
We'll make it 2nd down and 18. Howard still got it. His pass is out of bounds, incomplete. It's caught by Terry Glenn, who every one of the coaches says yesterday to us that he is going to be a dandy.
And you know, Keith, he was a walk-on.
Is that right?
He was a walk-on. He is a redshirt freshman. This is his second year. Redshirt freshman means this is his second year, but he didn't play last year. This is his first year of playing. He walked on last year, earned a scholarship in the spring, and as you said, they are just raving about him. Has lots of speed.
Buckeyes are 5 out of 7 on third down conversions. The ball is at the 40. They lead 17-6. Powers rolls out, buys time, looks downfield, lets it go. Receiver falls down.
Everybody's falling.
Buster Tillman, number 12, turned back toward the ball, fell down, could not get to the ball, and you know, the field's just a mess. I mean, I don't understand it. I really don't.
Well, we talked about the big uglies, Keith. Let's look at the offensive line protection. Number 78, top right of your screen, right there. Corey Stringer, sophomore, just gets his job done. One of the reasons he gets it done, not only because he's big, has long arms, but got good feet. Moves his feet well.
Scott Turner from Kaneohe, Hawaii. He's in the bucket. He's hit 2 big ones in a row. Bobby Ingram at the 15 for Penn State. Past the first man. And the third man gets it. 45-yard punt, 14-yard return, 9:24 to go in the first half.
Here's a look at the top 10. Today, Florida State is winning. Notre Dame won big. Arizona plays later. Nobody is losing. Florida won 33-26. Keith, I understand that Charlie Ward was had a rib injury. Went out of the game with a rib injury.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. 32, Carter, Jonathan Carter carries the ball, runs very well in traffic, and picked up about 5 yards. Craig Powell is leading Ohio State in tackles so far in the ball game with 7. And
that injury to Charlie Ward, I guess John Saunders will have a little bit more of it at halftime, but seems like Florida State is winning easily. A big showdown with Notre Dame in a couple of weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, November 13th.
Yeah.
Well, after the show that David Palmer put on last week in the Alabama's win at Ole Miss, I tell you what, he's, as far as I'm concerned, very much in the Heisman race, too. Kajana Carter carries a yard short of the first down, make it 2 yards short. Here's Lynn Swan.
Keith, we were talking about Dan Wilkerson, Big Daddy, quite a bit this afternoon. When he came over here to Ohio State, he was actually 350 pounds and kept telling the coach, hey, coach, I want to play on defense. He said, if you get down to under 310, you can play. He got down under 310. He's been in the ball game, and no one's been able to block him since.
He is indeed supper table size. Third down and 2. Goes Carter again. He's the workhorse today, and he's got the first down. Well, he's rolling up some yards, but more importantly, he's got 14 carries, and we've got 8 minutes to play in the first half, and he totals 64 yards.
And he is taking a beating, Keith. We said early that this was going to be a physical game. These two fronts are really going after it.
Craig Powell, the leading tackler for Ohio State, is down. He's the injured player, the sophomore from Youngstown.
Well, he collided with Carter, did Powell. Looks like he has just got his bell rung a little bit, yeah. No knees, nothing on the lower parts of his body, which is good.
Yeah, you can almost always tell. You remember that feeling when you start to get up and you say, wait a minute, something ain't working down there. I can't stand up
You
yet.
never forget that.
Oh, boy. I think having the wind knocked out of you, though, getting slammed down on the ground with the football under you is one of the, it's awful. It's just awful.
You talk to other coaches, they say Powell is one of the big players on this Ohio State defense. Wilkinson and the defensive line has the power, but the linebackers have the speed. There's a look at Miller. He's in replacing him.
He's a redshirt freshman. And Terry Collins, who is another big quarterback, drills the ball to Bobby Ingram. And that'll be a Penn State first down. We were talking about the size of the Ohio State quarterbacks. Well, Collins is 6'5", 235. So you don't just run out there and push these guys over. They're big men. Ball is on the 44-yard line where it's a first down.
Collins is starting his 9th game. He started a few last year and then took over this year after John Saka quit the team, and it's been Collins all the way.
DeJohn Carter hit behind the line of scrimmage, shakes off 2 tacklers, and turns nothing into something. Picked up about 3 yards.
Check out Lorenzo Styles, number 90, runs right through the gap. This was a little blitz by.
Yeah, he misses here.
Misses, yeah. Gets through the hole. He's the leading tackler on the team. He's averaging 10 a game. That's one that got away.
And Craig Powell has come back now. So Craig went to the sidelines. They bumped him up, and he's back. And Kerry Collins has some time. Throws complete to Brady. Penalty flag is thrown to the back judge. Back judge is the deep man downfield, and he threw the flag.
It's going to be offensive pass interference. There's an excellent shot of offensive pass interference. Brady's going to go in and just going to push off of the middle linebacker. That's Styles. Watch him as he releases inside. Now he's going to run right into him. Here's a tighter look. That's Styles. 81 is Brady. Now there was some contact there, but they're going to call that every time on the offensive guy. Styles leaned into him a little bit, but that's the right call there. Yeah. I mean, the middle linebacker Styles came at him a little bit, but it's a pass play, and if you knock him that hard and that back judge is looking at nobody but the tight end, you can believe he's going to call that on the tight end.
Pretty good ball game out there in Berkeley, isn't it? 20-14, Southern Cal over Cal. Archie and O'Neill now in the backfield for the Lions. Second down and 22. Carry back. Gets some heat, gets it away, and almost completes it as he's falling down in the grasp of Jason Simmons. Simmons pulls him up out of the mud, whacks him on the butt, and says, "Good play, good big guy."
Simmons is a fifth-year senior who has really been an outstanding player. He leads the Buckeyes in career sacks with 25. And with tackles for losses in a career with 52. He is just... There's a look at the Ohio State defense, the Big Ten, one of the better ones.
Collins is now 6 out of 15, 57 yards, been intercepted twice. One caused by pressure. This pass is away and intended for Brady and defended on the play by Tito Paul, and it is incomplete. Final score, Indiana shuts out Michigan State 10-0, and Indiana will be here in Columbus against the Buckeyes in 2 weeks.
And they say defense wins championships. Indiana leads the Big Ten in almost every defensive category, and they did nothing but strengthen that today by shutting out Michigan State.
Bill Mallory told me that at the Big Ten lunch last August. He thought his defense was going to be pretty good.
Yep.
Lucillo this time has good protection and hits a good punt. Turns it over. Ball taken back at the 14 by George Galloway. And he scoops out of bounds up around the 25-yard line. 41-yard punt, 9-yard return.
Time once again for our Coors Light Fan Picks College Football Poll. Just call 1-800-932-3000 to vote. And once again, Florida State is on top. And just a point about technique in this ball game for the wide receivers. They're doing a lot of slipping down here, partly because they're running out of control. If they run, drop their center of gravity, and plant the right foot, they're going to cut down on the slipping and have a better control downfield.
Now, wait a minute. Fremont Harris gets around the corner, and he's up to the 35-yard line. You know, everybody in the world couldn't float like you could. Raymond Harris with a good run there. The Big Ten standings. This includes the Indiana win over Michigan State.
Drops Michigan State to 2 losses. You'd think they'd be out of the hunt now.
Wisconsin's win reflected there. Wisconsin is at home next Saturday against Ohio State. That's Madison.
You're looking at the possibility maybe 6 Big Ten teams going to a bowl game this year.
Brett Powers is the quarterback. And Powers hands to Harris, and Harris has got the first down. So they put a little more distance between their back and the goal line with 5 minutes and 28 seconds to play in the first half. We kicked off at 3:35. It's coming up on, what is it, almost 5 o'clock.
I saw you're talking like you're running for a plane here.
No, I'm just, the pace of the game
you're right.
Is slow.
No, you're exactly right. I mean, usually an hour and a half for a half is what it normally takes.
I'm staying the night.
But finish with that one.
It's tough to get an airplane in and out of here today, I would think. Get him out all right, but not in. Bonote has the ball, kind of slides along and slides for a yard, and it'll be 2nd down and 9 near the 40.
By Ben Stewart.
Ben Stewart, number 78, making the tackle for Penn State.
Stewart's,
you know, Tyoka Jackson, Bob, has made 1 tackle in the ball game.
Stewart, you see there,
and
been out of action.
Bonner has 6 tackles for Penn State, but Tyoka Jackson, who is a horse of a player along the defensive front for Penn State, and he's up against Corey Stringer. And he's been pretty quiet. 2nd down and 9. Powers, a little play action, passes away, intercepted, intended for Galloway, and thrown directly to Tony Pittman. It was Pittman's ball all the way, and it's 1st down, Penn State, just outside the 37-yard line.
Well, it's play action right there, as most passing for Ohio State is. Double coverage on the outside receiver. Powers sees it, just doesn't get the ball over Pittman right there. There was a little bit of room, but that ball was, if you're going to miss, you miss on the long side where it's an incompletion, rather the short side where it's an interception.
Tim Patillo checks into the backfield now for Ohio State. He's number 21. Comes in with that fresh, clean jersey. Tito Paul still pretty clean, too. And back goes Kerry Collins, and whistled stop him. And good thing, because Jason Simmons had him in his sights.
Dead ball. Won't start on the offense. 5 yards.
1st down, 15, Penn State. 17-6, Ohio State has the lead with 4:17. And Sue, I tried to tell him to wear a hat, but you know how he is. He just won't wear a hat.
You see, Penn State has done very well in intercepting passes. A lot of different players getting involved.
Collins throws short to Kajana Carter, trying to set a screen for him. They get something out of it. He's all the way out to the 48-yard line. Now let's pause 5 seconds so our ABC stations can identify themselves.
This is Channel 2, WDTN Dayton Springfield.
The screenplay with Kajana Carter works very close to a 1st down. They'll bring the chains all the way across the field. Possibility still exists that the Big Ten Conference will have 5 teams in bowl games if they can make the Liberty Bowl deal. The Liberty Bowl, as you know, has an arrangement with the service academies, but you have to have 7 wins, and otherwise the Liberty Bowl can go look for somebody else. You see, it's a 1st down. Well, Navy's lost today to Notre Dame pretty well. In fact, warrants that none of them will reach that level. The Air Force has already said it has no particular interest in postseason play. And so that opens a way for somebody to go to the Liberty Bowl and play Louisville. And it looks like the Big Ten may be the place that provides that team. That'll give them 5 and even possibility of 6. 6 out of 11. That's pretty good. Kerry Collins slips a little bit, and that interrupts his rhythm, interrupts his timing. He misses his target.
Well, the Penn State offense is used to running the football, and you see there they are #1 in rushing and also in protecting their quarterback. But look at the bottom. They are 10th in the Big Ten out of 11 teams in passing yardage. So their game is running, and it always has been with Joe Paterno.
And I think we have sort of slipped into what you predicted, Bob, a defensive struggle now.
Yep.
17-6 is the score. The ball is handed to Kajana Carter. And Carter has been the tough guy for Penn State's offense. He's made the big plays. Tomorrow night, Superman's identity could be known all over Metropolis. Egad, is it so? Or can Clark Kent keep it secret? Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman at 8, 7 Central. Followed by Peter Falkus Columbo and a new movie special with Faye Dunaway. It's all tomorrow night here on ABC. Put the ball near the 43-yard line of Penn State, and Chico Nelson is the injured player. Ohio State strong safety. Looking at a knee. The man behind Chico at that position is a freshman, Anthony Gwynn from Columbus.
He's a true freshman too, Keith. Nelson, there's a look at Gwynn, the true freshman. Chico Nelson, one of the captains of this ball club.
Ball is resting now. We're pretty sloppy, pretty slick. Third down and a long 2. Carter and O'Neill in the backfield. Collins keeps it. Gets it away, and it is incomplete. No, not intercepted. Walton Taylor went down to the grass and claiming and arguing that I got my hands on it. The official grinning at him and said, good try, son, good try. Go sit down and rest. And Walton grins at him and walks out.
Jason Simmons, look at Simmons, number 91 now. He's the red shirt that's right in the face of the quarterback. He's going to force him to throw it when he doesn't want to. That ball hits the ground a couple of times.
Taylor is back as the deep man for Masillo's punt. It'll be his 3rd of the day. 3:20 to go in the first half. Second high snap, handles it. Low line drive kick, fair catch called, 15-yard line, and there Ohio State will take over. 17-6 now as the Buckeyes lead the Nittany Lions. And take a picture of this so you can sit down and figure it out. The yellow numbers are the rankings of the teams. The dates on the left are obvious. And those are the matchups of games that will have significance on bowl games down the road. We say the Rose Bowl, but when you go all the way down there to Wisconsin, Michigan State, December the 5th over in Tokyo, both of those teams could be headed for bowl games. Depend on which one wins that game in Tokyo as to where they go. It's Raymond Harris carrying the ball, and he picks up 4 yards.
Report on Chico Nelson, just a bruised knee. We don't know whether he'll be back or not, but that's good news if it's just bruised.
Ohio State with 2 timeouts remaining, and the clock ticking along at 2:50 to play in the first half. All final scores. Illinois finally beat down Northwestern's determination, and Iowa beat Purdue.
Bunch of low scores, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Is it the defenses that are taking over? A lot of good defenses, but maybe the weather.
Oh, it's bad weather everywhere.
In the Midwest.
Yep. Everywhere. Pitch to Raymond Harris. Taken down on a good solid tackle by Tony Pittman at about the 22-yard line. There's your updated standings. You know, we were talking before the ball game with Steve Snapp, D.C. Cole, and some others about the last time we had snow here at Ohio Stadium in a ball game. And everybody seemed to remember it was 1967 when Purdue came here with Mike Phipps at quarterback, having succeeded you there, and beat the Buckeyes in snow and ice. And I know it was ice and cold because I was on the sidelines. Freezing to death. 22-yard line. 3rd down and 4. Give it to Benote. There's your first down. He weighs 190 pounds, but he's a little scooter. Keeps those feet low on the ground, and you just give him a little bit of room, and he can dart right through it. Move the chains, clock stopping until the chains are in place, and the ball is located at the 28-yard line.
There's a look at Corey Stringer. Right tackle up against Tyoka Jackson.
Jackson has 1 tackle today. Not much that time. In fact, a loss for Benote on that carry. It begins to appear that John Cooper will be perfectly satisfied to go to the clubhouse leading 17-6 at halftime, rather than to start airing the ball out and risking turnover at this juncture.
Interesting that Brett Powers has stayed in there for the last with us, his 4th straight possession.
Yep.
After Hoying took the first 3.
Well, he was almost gone in the hands of Ben Foddy, but he shook off Lou and wound up moving the ball up to about the 30-yard line, where he is finally taken down. Your Prudential halftime report. A lot of games complete now, particularly in the eastern half of the country.
Get an update on Charlie Ward and see how he's doing. He's supposedly had some kind of a rib injury.
Penn State spends the timeout. They're trying to pin the Buckeyes back here and force a punt so they can get one more shot at the ball. It's 3rd down and 8. So that's why they called the timeout. Figure they can hold one more play, they can make a punt. These are the games that the Ohio State Buckeyes have played. You know they're 7-0 coming in, and the first test for them really was that Washington game, and it was a close game. It was actually a little closer than that 21-12. There's one big play in there where the Napoleon Kaufman slipped when he's going in for a touchdown, it looked like.
Yep.
And then Benote broke a big play for a long run. Yep. Illinois gave him some business, and so did Michigan State, though they had 4 turnovers in the Michigan State game. And these are the people they have yet to play after today. And the trip to Wisconsin will be no picnic. We'll have it for you next week. Indiana here obviously is not going to be a picnic. And then they go over to Ann Arbor.
Been beaten in the last 13 games, so they're on a roll.
Yep. So Penn State now will spend another timeout. They'll have 1 left and stop the clock at 21 seconds, and they force Ohio State to punt the ball. So they will get it for a couple of snaps.
Keith, while we got a second, let's send our regards to Bud Tallman, Sports Information Director at Penn State. He and his wife, Pat, were on their way over and watching the game today. And
Patty got sick, but she's, I understand, to be released from the hospital this afternoon, and no surgery required at this particular point. Here's what Joe Paterno was working toward. He wanted Bobby Ingram to get his hands on the ball. The 2 punts by Turner today. He came into this ball game averaging just over 36 yards per punt. But in the game today, his first 2 punts have been 54 and 45. Well, the kick is away. It's a low knuckle ball. It is fielded by Ingram back to the 25. Looks for some help. There isn't any. All red. And down he goes at the 33-yard line. 47-yard punt, a low line drive, and an 11-yard return. And you've got 8 seconds left on the clock. And there's a flag down around the 40-yard line on the Penn State side of the field. It's against Ohio State.
on the kicking team. 15, first down.
Big penalty. It gives them the one play, but throwing the Hail Mary from your own 49-yard line is a lot easier than throwing it back from your own 32.
Yeah, and the thing that we have to remember is that the ball is wet. The field is like ice. It's just very slippery. It is not good for making big plays offensively.
Well, he threw the ball down the sideline, and Ingram, who was running a fly down the side, never looked back for it. The ball was thrown behind him, and it is incomplete, and they'll get one more snap with 3 seconds remaining. The undefeated third-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes, if they hold on to Penn State on this play, will go into the clubhouse leading by 11 points, 17-6. And Chico Nelson has returned to the field. Handed off to Kajana Carter. And that'll do it. The half is over. So off to the clubhouse they go. Ohio State leading by 11.
The year was 1972. Dan Gable trained 7 hours a day for 3 years to reach his Olympic goal.
You bet. 8-6 ball game. Ohio State leading Penn State at Ohio Stadium in Columbus. This is how it came about. Craig Fayak, 29-yard field goal, 3-0 Penn State in the first quarter. Then Raymond Harris, a 4-yard touchdown run to give Ohio State another scoring drive in their first possession, their 8th consecutive of the year, 7-3 Buckeyes. Fayak comes back in the first quarter with a 49-yard field goal to make it a 7-6 score, and it makes him the all-time scoring leader at Penn State with 249 points. And then Tim Williams hits one for Ohio State from 22 yards to make it a 10-6 ball game for the Buckeyes. And Galloway, Joey Galloway, with a 25-yard touchdown pass from Brett Powers, 17-6. That's where we are at halftime. It has been snowing all day long, not heavy, but heavy enough to put some on some of the rooftops. The ground has not been frozen. It hasn't been that cold, but I don't believe the temperature got up over 40 degrees today, and it will freeze tonight. I'm pretty sure in some places. But it has been a day with a different flavor as Penn State comes into Ohio Stadium for the very first time as a member of the Big Ten Conference. The Buckeyes undefeated and third-ranked in the country and leading by 11.
Number of plays are about the same. First downs are even. Look at the rushing yards. Both of these teams averaging over 200 a game. They're well below that total yardage in favor of Ohio State. Turnovers, 2 for Penn State. One of those turnovers, an interception, led to 7 points by Ohio State, and time of possession big in favor of the Buckeyes.
Keith Jackson, Bob Greasy, and Lynn Swan on the telecast with you. And we're looking ahead to next week when Ohio State goes up to Wisconsin, which beat Michigan today. Benote is number 33. Harry Glenn is number 83. Craig Fayak is the man who will kick it off for Penn State. The offense went up and down the field in the first quarter. The defense took over in the second quarter. Fayak not getting a good plant, slips a bit as he hits the ball, pops it up, and it's a short 8-iron to about the 33-yard line where Bob Hauser makes a fair catch.
2 quarterbacks played for the Buckeyes. You can see it there. Powers was 4 of 8. Hoying, the starter, 3 of 7. Harris was the leading rusher. Galloway, 3 receptions in the 1 touchdown. Their possessions, you can look, they scored on 3 of the first 4 times they had the ball.
Bob Hoying comes out to start the second half for Ohio State, and they start at their own 33-yard line, and Penn State shows a 6-man front defensively. Now as the tight end goes in motion, they back it off to 5, hand the ball to Raymond Harris, and Harris pounds to the 40-yard line on a 7-yard pickup. The big back, 225 pounds, out of Lorain, Ohio.
Mentioned the offensive line. To the right, the red shirts. The big offensive line, we introduced them at the start. On the right side over there is Stringer. Mono is 77, blocking on the linebacker.
They're 310 and 285 respectively. And it's second down, 2.5. Snowing hard right now. Harris again, up the middle he comes, bounces off the stack, pounds his way to the 48-yard line. Big backs banging away behind a huge line.
Watch the blocking over here on this side now, Keith, as both of these linemen on the backside of the play. This play's not supposed to come over there. That's Winrow and Klein, and now Harris sees the gap over there and just bounces over there. You never know where that play's going to hit. It's supposed to go to one side, but if you just keep your block, a gap may open over on the other side.
It's first down, Buckeyes at their own 48, leading 17-6 as we start the second half of play in a snowstorm. Harris again, big hole in the middle. Kaiser couldn't hold him. He goes to the 40, and a first down for Ohio State. Now let's check in with Lynn Swann.
Well, Keith, I ran out in the field with John Cooper, and he said that he felt in the first half the misdirection play of the offense was extremely good. What he didn't like was third down situations, both offense and defense. He said he is going to not change anything at all. Interestingly enough, for Joe Paterno, he said defense was his concern and the size mismatch. He said they were just getting overpowered by Ohio State.
Yep, that's sort of what we expected, because the Buckeyes definitely have a size advantage in the trenches. Up the middle goes Harris. First down at the 21. Derek Mana stopped him, otherwise he scored.
Watch the offensive line, the fullback, Cawthorn. Watch the fullback. He's going to get a block on the middle linebacker. Can't see it there, but it was there. The linemen getting their blocks refreshed at halftime. Watch the fullback. Block right there on Gelsheiser. All the other linemen doing their job, refreshed at halftime, got an idea of what they were doing defensively, came out with a positive attitude. It's like the first drive of the game.
Harris 4 carries and 47 yards in this possession. He's got it again. He runs into traffic. And he is taken down by Brian Monahan. Now let's check in with John.
Keith, Alabama facing Southern Miss. Brian Bergdorf in for Barker, who of course is injured. Spots David Palmer, who can catch him, throw him, do everything else. 26-0, Alabama with the lead. Keith.
Well, I tell you what, David Palmer has become a massive persona in that Alabama circumstance. With Jay Barker hurt. Butler Benote is in the backfield now. Saunders goes in motion. Give it to Benote. Huge hole in the middle. He had you could have run a truck through the middle. Benote went to the sideline, cut it outside, but I mean, that Ohio State front is opening some holes.
Watch the left guard. That's Winrow. He's going to pull. Number 68.
Look at that hole there.
Look at the job he does throwing at the knees there of Monahan. They just stretched him, Keith. Just stretched him. Keep their feet. One thing, not only is this offensive line huge for Ohio State, but they have good feet. They can move their feet laterally, keep them going.
Change to check the first down. It is.
I don't think there's any question that this line, including Winrow, is the best offensive line in the Big Ten.
Maybe the country.
Could say that. I think a day like this, Keith, points out why you have to be able to run the ball in the Big Ten.
It's a time for the big uglies.
Well, I mean, you got a Miami and a Florida State and those teams that throw the ball. If you get a day like this in the Midwest, which you're going to get in the Big Ten, I wonder how well they could throw the ball on a day like today.
It's first down just inside the 11 for Ohio State. Harris is back at tailback. He's got the ball. He takes it to the 8. Pick up 3. and it is really snowing.
I look at this day and I mentioned this style of football, Keith, and the need to run the football. If you are Florida State and you catch this type of day in a couple of weeks up at South Bend, it's not their brand. It's not their brand of ball. That's why you have to be able to run the ball some. That's not to say Florida State can't.
Sean Jackson's pretty good. 20 carries for Raymond Harris and 107 yards in the ball game. And we're just starting the second half. Saunders, the tight end, moves it. This is Harris to the 5, to the 4. They can get a first down without scoring. Remember, they started with the tail of the ball right on the 11-yard line. 17-6, and Ohio State trying to stretch the lead now. And they've used a little over 4 minutes here in the second half. Galloway and Tillman. Tillman comes out. Galloway goes in. Harris comes out. Benote goes in. Fresh legs. And probably bringing a play. Hoying gives to Benote. Sweep it right. Running for the corner. He's there. Touchdown.
The block of the tight end right here. That's Cothran as he goes around and he's going to seal the penetration. Everything starts right. Penn State goes to the right. Looks like they're going to string it out, but right there is a hole, a wall, and it was Cothran, the fullback, that set it up.
And that big old tight end, Saunders, 85, who went in motion in that direction.
That's true.
Was a key block on the corner. Kim Williams for the point. Good. 10:17 to play, third quarter. Now, Ohio State 24, Penn State 6.
Now the Buffalo Bills look for a sweep of Super Bowl revenge when they meet the Washington Redskins Monday night on ABC Sports.
9 times they ran the ball. 68 yards, and Benote scored it. It's a 24-6 game. Williams will kick off. Penn State has Shelly Hammonds and Kajana Carter. Carter's had a busy day. He's done most of the work out of the backfield. Carter and Harris have been the horses for their respective teams.
This is what we used to do. We used to do this back in the sandlots. We didn't have a tee. You put it on your toes, see?
There, that's why a lot of guys are walking funny, because they got broken feet out of it.
You had to be friendly with the kicker, though, if you're going to put that on your toe. He's either going to kick your toe. He's even got his heel on the ground, and he's got his toe raised up a little bit.
I mean, that's trust. That's like putting an apple on your head.
I didn't know you could do that. I thought you had to use a tee.
Been better off if he had. It's a pop-up to the 28-yard line, and popping out of there, Shelly Hammonds, and he comes all the way out to the 45. And here's Swanee.
One of the things you have to realize about home field advantage in a game like this is what you can do in the locker room. For Ohio State, they could go into the locker room, change the thermal underwear, come back out feeling refreshed with dry clothing on. For the Penn State side, they can't do that as well, so a lot of the guys are still wearing the same wet clothing, which means it's going to be cold, damp, uncomfortable for them throughout the second half.
Meantime, Swanee, they've got their best starting position for a possession, though, as Kerry Collins fires it down the middle. It is intercepted, then it is dropped and recovered by Penn State. It was intercepted by Craig Powell. He then dropped the ball, and Penn State recovered the ball at the Ohio State 45-yard line. And number 32, Kajana Carter, is the man on it.
Again, poor throw. Powell is right there. I don't know if he ever has possession of it before it's knocked loose. No, I don't think he ever had possession of it. But the net result is the same. It's going to be Penn State ball. Poor throw. He just was not there. Collins, that is his third interception of the day. Of course, he had one that was...
He never possessed the ball.
No, he didn't.
He gave it. They called it interception.
So it works out as an advantage for Penn State.
Yep. First down at the Ohio State 44. This is Carter. And Mr. Carter beat Mr. Fickle. And Mr. Simmons.
First half, Collins not too good. 7 of 20 over only 73 yards and 2 interceptions. Carter was 17 carries, 94 yards. And Brady led the receivers with 2. Of course, Fayak with the 2 field goals. And their first possessions, they scored on their first 2 field goals. The rest was punts and interceptions.
Collins wants to throw. He's looking for LaBarca. And he got it. It went right through the hands of Chico Nelson and right on to number 3. Caught it right on his chest.
This ball gets there just before Nelson. Nelson is a strong safety. He was double covering with 46 Kerner on LaBarca, and that ball just got out there in time.
Penn State's now on the Ohio State 34-yard line, and the Buckeyes better not be leaning back too much. Resting. Touchdown to get them right back in the hunt. It's 24-6 right now, and Kerry Collins is again looking down the middle, and it is incomplete, intended for Bobby Ingram, and he was covered by Walton Taylor. Actually, Taylor didn't know where the ball was. It was thrown on the wrong side. If it's on the other side, I think Ingram's got a shot at it. Florida State winning big, but Charlie Ward was banged up.
Heard a rib?
That's what I heard. I
don't know how long he's going to be out.
Second down and 10. He's got another first down for Penn State. Kajana Carter runs the ball hard down to the 22. Move the chains. 8:45 to play in the third quarter. Auburn beating Arkansas by 10. Carter now with 19 carries, 106 yards. And we showed you a while ago that Raymond Harris had 20 carries and 104 yards. Both the tailbacks now have gone over the 100 yards.
It's a big drive for Penn State to go back and answer that touchdown that Ohio State put out.
Carter is in motion. Collins back to throw it. He wants to set up a screen, but Ohio State has wrecked that, and he throws the ball into the ground. The Buckeyes are yelling for a grounding call and don't get it. Number 50, Ohio State player hobbled on the field. That's 56.
If you're going to throw the ball away, Kerry Collins needs to do it in a little bit better fashion than that. That was almost, could have been called grounding. Should have been called.
Defensive end is the man coming off the field.
Should have been called grounding, Keith.
What?
That last throw.
You are telling me that should have been called grounding.
I mean, you don't throw it straight into the ground in front of by the offensive lineman. Right there. I mean, there is nobody around. The official is watching to make sure that the quarterback does not get roughed and doesn't look downfield for the receivers.
Never call it college ball, do they?
No, they call it a few times, but you're right. They're so in tune with protecting the quarterback, they don't look.
22-yard line. Second down and 10. Sliding catch by Kyle Brady, making the catch in front of Mark Williams. And that's a pickup of about 6 yards. Make it 5 and call it third down and 5.
Penn State this is not one of the strengths of their offense. This style, fraternal style, is run, defense, and special teams. His passing game is not in tune to come back, especially in poor weather.
3rd down and 5. He's got LaBarca and he's got Ingram both on that side, and a penalty flag is thrown. Wait a minute. Marlon Kerner hit Ingram.
That's a bad call.
Oh, I don't see that at all.
The official on the sideline, the side judge didn't call it, but the back judge completely behind the play.
He never saw the play.
It's going to call it, yeah. He doesn't see the timing. Let's take a look. It's going to be at the top of your screen, top right.
Pass interference on the defense.
I'm sorry. No, the official on the side did not call it. The official straight behind the defensive back is the one that called it.
That's a good play by Kerner. That is not interference.
You know, officials are only human. They make a lot of good calls. They make some bad ones. And when they're not right, you got to call them they're not right. And that is not right.
Well, where's everybody else? There's 7 of them out there.
If the side judge didn't call it, and he had the best view.
The back judge ought to leave it alone. Kajana Carter carries on that play, and there's a loss of 2 yards. It's got nothing to do with which team or what or anything else. You know, a bad call's a bad call, and that's a bad call.
They all, and over a period, maybe not a period of a game, but over a season, they'll pretty much balance out.
Yep. Look at Eddie's boys. Eddie Robinson smoke, scrambling. He'll win it. 2nd down and 10. Kajana Carter. Good play by number 90, Lorenzo Stiles, middle linebacker.
Say he's a smart player. Bill Young, the defensive coordinator. Stiles was a backup linebacker out last year. Didn't expect him to start this year, but he came in and has just really led this defense. Told you earlier, he leads the team in tackles. He's averaging 10 tackles a game, and that's 2nd in the Big Ten in tackles. Stiles.
3rd down and 12. The ball is at the 13 of Ohio State. Kerry Collins goes to the end zone for Brady. Incomplete. Defended by Walton. Kyle Brady, big guy that he is, could not quite reach up and go high enough for that one.
The ball was thrown a little too high. It could have been there. Again, the ball is wet. It's windy. It's not a good day for quarterbacks.
Well, they had the matchup they wanted.
Yeah, it was there.
Yep, 6'6" tight end against the 5'11" cornerback. And it looked like Joe says go for it, but there's a timeout. It's 6:14 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Tony and Diane get regular insurance checkups, just like they get regular medical checkups. I'm State Farm Agent Carlos Bermudez. I have been their State Farm agent 7 years. A family insurance checkup helps them make sure all their coverages are up to date. It's also a good time to explore options, like how their life insurance plan can be adapted to help with their daughter's college education. I think the family insurance checkup is something everybody can feel good about.
State Farm is there.
Sure, you've got a car. Got a dog. Even got some fun-loving friends. But have you got what it takes to be a mountain man? All it really takes are the 2 cool beers of the mountain man. Smooth bush beer and easy drinking bush light. So, be a mountain man. All you gotta do is head for the mountains.
Craig Fayak, number 5, who has already become the all-time scorer for Penn State for his 3rd field goal try of the day. 29 good, 49 good. This is 30, and it's blocked. It is blocked by Marlon Kerner, the quarterback.
Bottom of your screen, bottom right. The problem with this is it's a short corner, and they don't overshift. Kerner gets in around with his speed. Normally when you're on a hash mark.
And Ohio State gets the ball at the 25-yard line. First down, Hoying at quarterback. Hoying gives the ball to Raymond Harris, who's put on a clean jersey. And he busts out for 3 yards.
Here's what I'm talking about. Here's the center right here. Now you've got 3 guys here, 3 here, and 1 back. Normally when you're wide side of the field, they'll bring one of these linemen over and make 4 guys over here because you've got the wide side. The problem is you've got an angle and you've got to kick to the wide side where the goalpost is. Most teams overshift one of their linemen, an unbalanced line, to the wide side of the field. Penn State didn't do it. Kerner got around the short side where the ball was coming.
And it's second down and 7 for the Bucks. Hoying gives the ball to Harris, and he's up to the 31. College football on ABC Sports, brought to you by Chevrolet, who invites you to see all the new Chevy cars for 1994. And Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. Ohio State has not thrown a pass in the third quarter. And we've got almost 5 minutes left to play.
They're hitching their wagon to those big horses up front and just rode them down the field on the first possession.
Well, they went that 68 yards in that scoring drive. Yep. 9 rushes. Yep. Here's the first pass. He lets it fly. And on the run, it is Glenn, Terry Glenn, the redshirt freshman from Columbus, covered by Shelly Hammonds. He had him beat by a step, but the ball was too long. We pause 5 seconds to allow our stations to identify themselves. .434 to go, third quarter, 24-6, Ohio State. They'll punt the ball away now. It has turned into the kind of war we thought it would be, and right now the war is going the way of the Ohio State countrymen. It is the 4th punt of the day for Scott Turner. Turner's kick bounces, rolls around. Bobby Ingram picks it up at the 35-yard line. And the young man from South Carolina playing football in Pennsylvania comes back to the Ohio State 44, where it'll be first down.
You build a new razor with precision heads to shave below the skin in comfort. And what do you get? Cut a precision groove to help the Norelco lift and cut system shave even closer. And what do you get? Build a razor that shaves closer, smoother than ever before. And what do you get? The new Norelco razors, our closest shave ever.
My life isn't about throwing money around. It's about hanging on to it. It's not about owning a $40,000 car. It's about owning a good car. It's not how much something costs that matters to me. It's how well it works. Look, don't tell me what I want. Show me you've got what I need.
My dandruff shampoo is good.
Better try something else. Mine really works.
You'd better try something else, like Selsun Blue. Doctors recommend it more than all leading brands. Selsun Blue. Doctor recommended #1.
This is a Goodyear Aquatread, and this is a gallon of water. Aquatread's deep groove design channels water away. At highway speeds, it moves a gallon of water every second for outstanding wet traction. Aquatread, only from Goodyear.
The Ohio State Buckeyes celebrating the 25th anniversary of their 1968 national championship. On that coaching staff under Woody Hayes, people like Lou Holtz, Tiger Ellison, the father of the run and shoot, Navy head coach George Trump, former Buckeye head coach Earl Bruce, and current Indiana coach Bill Mallory. Woody had some help. Well, great players, but a great coaching staff.
Oh, great staffs over here.
John Whitman and Stephen Pitts at the 44-yard line. Kerry Collins pulls the trigger for a pass play down the middle and deep and incomplete, intended for Chip LaBarca. Chip just couldn't run it down. The attendance today is the third largest in Ohio Stadium history. 95,060, and despite the weather, rain and snow, they have had a good time because they were lively when they came, and they still are.
Well, they love the score, and they know they love what's going on here.
Mike Archie in the backfield for Penn State now. He's got the ball. Chico Nelson coming up on support, turned him back inside, and Mark Williams made the tackle for Ohio State. Next year, they go to Beaver Stadium. Lions will be waiting for.
Here's a look at Penn State in the nation offensively. Their rushing is very strong. They're averaging 278 yards rushing, 81st passing the ball, and they're in a situation on a bad field. They need to catch up. They're 18 points down, and that is not their strength throwing the football.
Collins is 9 of 27. That ball is deflected by Williams, the left side linebacker. Mark Williams, a senior out of Upper Marlboro, Maryland. And Collins is now 9 of 28 for 88 yards, and 3 passes have been intercepted. And 2 of those interceptions, the direct result of pressure. So the Ohio State defense is getting a handle on things as well. And Walter Taylor will go deep to accept the punt from B.J. Masillo. 3.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Taylor makes the catch. Takes a pretty good lick. Is he going to get up? Yep. Kim Herring downfield. Hit the pop on him. Coming off gingerly, however, and now we go to Lynn Swan.
Keith, you and Bob were talking about Penn State's ability to score and then being a strong rushing team. Well, if you look at both these teams, Penn State and Ohio State, Penn State has scored most of their points in the first half, about 61%, with Ohio State scoring about 68%. Now, coming into the second half in the fourth quarter, you see Ohio State strong at 25%, and Penn State at 18%. Now what they've got to do is hurry up, get this defense moving, score some points, and play out of their tendency to get back in this ballgame.
Yeah, first thing you got to do is get their hands on the ball. This is Raymond Harris getting around the corner. Got 4 yards. Pretty good play over there by Shelly Hammonds, coming up from his cornerback position on the boundary side. You've got to get me a hat like Swanee to wear.
Yeah. Well, we said hello to Bud Tallman in the first half. We didn't mean to say that Bud was sick. They were on their way over, and his wife took sick, and they turned around and went back. They're back in State College watching this game this afternoon. Bud, Sports Information Director at Penn State, and long time up at Buffalo. I got to know Bud at the Buffalo Bills when he was up there and doing a great job there. Just,
the Buffalo Navy.
Yeah, he was at Navy.
Raymond Harris just hammering up the middle. Ohio State content right now to beat on them and bang on them and wear them out as we head toward the end of the third quarter. ABC's college football next week, featuring Louisville at Tennessee. Ohio State will be up at Wisconsin. Wisconsin was a winner today over Michigan. So it is a big ball game next week in Madison.
Barry Alvarez doing a nice job of turning that program around. He went up there and about 3 years ago, I believe, and he's got them, what are they now, 7-1? Something like that. 1 loss in the Big Ten.
is drilled to Tillman. Buster Tillman right between defenders. And I mean, he is flat crushed. And it comes out. There are all the scores of the games in the Big Ten today. So it was indeed Judgment Day for three of going to be. This one is still alive, and the other two have been determined with Michigan State now 2 losses.
Lou Tepper at Illinois turning that after a horrible start. They've really come on.
Turner punting. Ingram comes up, fumbles it, picks it up at the 47-yard line. He's going to run up the middle of the field. And he's finally taken down.
Almost.
Boy, he almost got that thing almost in the end zone, because you give Bobby Ingram that much room, folks, and he will light your fire.
How many times do you see when the returner muffs it for a second, everybody relaxes, and he just almost breaks this? That's Powell, 84, the last defender for the Buckeyes.
And so here's Penn State now, camped on the Ohio State 32-yard line, first down, with Whitman and Pitts in the backfield behind Kerry Collins. And they'll give it to Pitts. And the Buckeyes give it to him back at the 35. Jason Quinn, the redshirt freshman out of Columbus, number 49. Those black numerals you see on the shoulders of the uniforms that Ohio State's wearing, it is a replica of the uniforms worn by that 1968 team that has been undefeated and won a national championship.
Been a lot of talk around here by the fans and the media back to that team also.
Pass is thrown behind Kyle Brady by Collins. He had him. The big tight end was open, but he threw the ball behind him. Like my tight ends, they don't throw to him enough.
Well, and that ball was, as you said, it was behind him. Brady came in with 10 receptions on the year, 2 touchdowns. But it's a tough day to be a quarterback.
Yep. Tough day any day against this red bunch, I think. Yep. Kerry Collins looking to set up the screen, gets the screen for Ingram, and he moves the ball down. He's about 5 yards short of the first down. To give you an idea of how the Ohio State defense has taken over now, in the last 3 Penn State possessions have started at the Ohio State 44, the 44, and the 32, and the Lions have scored no points.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Great field position second half. That field goal that they got blocked, not the last time they had the ball, but the previous time, was a big thing, because they didn't get any points on the board after Ohio State scored 7.
That was Pitts on that last play, number 40, not 10. This one drilled down the middle, caught to the tight end Brady, good for a first down at the Ohio State 20. But this time, Kerry Collins is on the numbers, and I mean, he threw a dart. Well, Kyle had to catch that one or lose his caps.
Made sure of that one, didn't he? Just held on to it for a while.
6 seconds to play in the third quarter.
First down, line scrimmage to the front.
Now no time to play in the third quarter, and we'll be back for the final 15 minutes between Penn State and Ohio State after this message and a word from our ABC station.
Camaro. What else would you expect from the country that invented rock and roll?
In Europe, things happen on time, right on schedule. Punctuality is the norm, and that makes Europe the ideal environment for UPS. Fact is, UPS has built the most comprehensive delivery network in Europe. So when you have a shipment going there that has to be on time, use the delivery company whose punctuality is a time-honored tradition. UPS, the package delivery company more companies count on.
Sunday.
Who found the body?
A beautiful killer may get away with more than murder.
I'll help you with your problem if you'll help me with mine.
It's a crime what Faye Dunaway's doing. To Columbo, all new Sunday.
This time, there's someone special running for mayor. Someone with the honesty and integrity we expect. And someone with the common sense and new ideas we need. He's Mike Turner. The Dayton Daily News called him bold, the best choice for Dayton, the city's right choice for mayor.
As mayor, I'll fight to make our neighborhoods safer, create new jobs, and get Dayton back on the right track.
Mike Turner, mayor, a change for the better.
Why am I voting for Judy Orrick?
She listens. She's concerned about people like me. I like that.
Judy Orrick, I've known her for years. She's honest. I trust her.
Judy Orrick, she understands the concerns of young families like ours.
She's the change we need.
Together, we can make a change and move Dayton in the right direction. That's why I'm running for city commissioner. I'd appreciate your vote on Tuesday.
Judy Orrick for city commissioner.
The final mayoral debate, Saturday at 7:30.
All right, we're ready for the final period of play at Ohio Stadium with the Buckeyes of Ohio State leading the Nittany Lions of Penn State by a score of 24-6. It is first down and 10 for Penn State at the Ohio State 20. It is time for a rally if the Lions are to get back into the hunt in this ball game. This is Pitts running up the middle. Big hole, and he goes all the way to about the 6 or 7 yard line. Stephen Pitts, the junior from Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey.
After 3 quarters, each team has run 56 plays. The first downs are about the same. Big advantage for Ohio State, rushing the ball and passing, almost 300 yards to 200 total offense. Turnovers, as we mentioned before, 7 points off the 1 turnover for Ohio State.
First and goal for the Nittany Lions from the 7. LaBarker is the man in motion. Collins to Pitts. Fumble. Ohio State's got it. I think it's Craig Powell that recovered the ball, number 84.
Going to be a run right off the side over here, and it's going to look pretty good until the safety's going to come up and make the hit right here. The ball's going to come out. There's some room there, but the safety, that is Taylor, knocks it free, and Powell is laying on his arms, and somebody on him says, I can't get to it.
Yeah, Lorenzo Styles was sitting on top of it.
Yeah, he finally got it. That's the 4th turnover for Penn State today.
Raymond Harris breaks it out, coming out of the end zone with a snap of the ball, takes it all the way out to the 20, and gives Ohio State some breathing room.
Well, we talk about the offensive line. Here's a look at the feet of Corey Stringer. Big and strong, over 300 pounds, but one of the reasons he's so good is because he has good feet. He doesn't just hit and lean on the defensive man, but he keeps them moving, hits, turns, and follows through. They say this young man right here is going to be an outstanding tackle. He already is.
Going to be. He's a load. Ball is near the 19 now, where they put it down and go back to Harris. And he will lose on this play, as Penn State handled it very well. The first hit by Eric Ravati. Now let's check in with Swanee.
Keith, this has been the 3rd series of Joey Galloway, number 7 for the Ohio State Buckeyes, has not been in the ball game. Last week, He had an injury, he had to come out. His hamstrings were bothering him. Now he's got cramps, so he's been on the sideline. He's very disappointed. Talking to the trainers right now, trying to figure out a way to get him back in this ball game.
Yeah, he hasn't had his allotment of catches today, has he?
They had 3 on that one drive, and that's been it.
Yep. He's sometimes good for 10.
Came in with 28.
Harris, 27 carries and 131 yards in the ball game. That is a career high for Raymont. And you've got an Ohio State timeout.
Recently, Jim Holland made the longest ski jump in history. He stayed in the air for 30 minutes and flew the equivalent of 36 miles. This incredible jump took place in a wind tunnel, and it was all part of an off-season training program for the U.S. ski team made possible by Visa and its cardholders. Visa, the only card that helps train these athletes and the only card accepted at the '94 Winter Olympics, where Jim Holland hopes to make the second longest ski jump in history.
Elvira here, Mistress of the Dark and sometimes Surfer Babe, because Coors Light is the official beer of Halloween, and the party's at the beach, Malibu Beach, where you can hang 10. Look, Frankie in a net. And of course, when it's time to chill, just reach for that cooler of Coors Light. Aged ice cold, never frozen stiff. It's the right beer now for Halloween. Just look for the silver bullet smooth display and dig up your friends now for a party at the beach. Happy Halloween, dudes.
As expected, the shape is new and beautiful. As expected, it's quieter and has more space. As expected, there are dual airbags and anti-lock brakes. As expected, the automotive world once again revolves around one car. The new Accord EX from Honda. As expected.
With their eye on the Big Ten title, Ohio State looks to avenge last year's loss to Wisconsin, plus other key regional games, all next Saturday on ABC's College Football.
Coming into today, Penn State was second in the nation in turnover margin. They had taken it away 18 and only given it away 8 times. Today, they've given it away 4 times, and they've taken it away twice, but very uncharacteristic for the Nittany Lions. And there's Raymont Harris, over 131 yards, averaging 4.9. That is excellent.
It's second down and 13 now for the Buckeyes. The ball is back near the 16-yard line. Hoying's pass, man is wide open. That's D.J. Jones, the tight end. Sophomore out of Lebanon, Ohio. And it's a first down for the Buckeyes. One of the things that Joe Paterno and his staff now have to dig in, and Joe's been talking about this quite a bit because he's been harangued about it by the media. 1992, the Lions were 5-0 until they lost to Miami 17-14, a game that we did. And then they won only 2 of their last 6 games through the Blockbuster Bowl to finish at 7-5. And Coach Paterno puts down all that conversation by saying this is a much better football team than last year.
Good point.
Galloway's back now.
Good point.
He finally got some grease on, and Joey's in there. But it's Raymont Harris who's tearing him up right now. Runs it out to the 49-yard line, and another Ohio State first down before Derek Bonner can stop him.
The other thing you're looking at is Penn State in the Big Ten for the first time, Keith. In the past, they've been an independent playing a lot of other independents. And now some of the players, and reading some of the clippings, say, you know, playing at Iowa and playing Minnesota, playing Michigan, you know, it's every week the players are so intense. There's some pride in being in a conference. And, of course, they're playing probably, well, 2 of the best teams back-to-back. Michigan 2 weeks ago, and, of course, Ohio State here, but they're getting a heavy dose of the Big Ten in very short order here.
This is Butler Benote, and he moves it from the 49 down across to the Penn State 49. The Lions will go home now for the next 2 games, and they're not easy. They have Indiana and Illinois. Then they go back on the road to finish at Northwestern, and then November 27 at Michigan State. That's a tough finish.
Yes, it is.
Second down and 8 for Ohio State. That pass going to D.J. Jones, the tight end, a big play in this possession. Got him out here and kept the ball in the hands of the Buckeyes, and Benote losing his footing, sliding in for about a yard. Tomorrow, defending champion Paul Azinger joins the PGA Tour's top 30 money winners in the final round of golf's richest event, the Tour Championship. We'll have it live from the Olympic Club in San Francisco at 3 Eastern, 2 Central Time here on ABC Sports. How about Jim Gallagher? 63 the first day?
Unbelievable.
You can't shoot 63 on that golf course.
Well, unless you play 16 holes only.
Oh, man.
Taking into it. Walk off the course after 16, you can shoot it.
I remember walking around with Reeves McBee the day he showed up as a rookie back in 1966. He shot 64 in the world. I thought that part of the world will fall in the ocean. And then Jim shoots 63 and in 73 the second day. That's what the old lady will do to you. That pass was high and overthrown and obviously incomplete. And it brings up 4th down now for Ohio State. They really have all the points they need. 24 points against Penn State. A lot of points.
Take a look at that helmet. Some of those helmets there. You talk about paint swapping, Keith. That's what he means, folks, by
right
paint
there.
swapping right there. Those little contact points between
like
one helmet and the others.
Went through a barbed wire plant backwards. Pressure. No flag. Yeah, there it is. Goodness, the referee pulled it out of his pockets. Dick Honig, he thought about it for a little while, and they finally pulled it out, threw it down. And the big squawk in here is Marlon Forbes. The ball hit the ground.
That doesn't make any difference in college ball.
Nope.
And in the pros, if the ball hits the ground, all bets are off. You can do anything you want, but the college rule is they still protect the quarterback.
Inadvertent flag. The ball was tipped.
Okay, if the ball is tipped. If the ball is tipped, then you can hit him.
Forbes apparently got a piece of it.
Yeah.
And Marlon has said, wait a minute, look at my finger, it's crooked, I tipped it.
Well, he was delayed, yeah. The referee delayed. He was trying to figure out whether it was tipped or not. I think he got some help from the umpire.
Yep. And you got a timeout with 11:17 to play.
The interior of the new Honda Accord creates an open environment. It's roomy and comfortable and available in fine leather. The reinforced body is insulated to be quieter than ever. When you consider everything the new Accord has to offer, it becomes an open and shut case. The new Accord EX from Honda.
They say Mozart composed from midnight to 7 a.m. Hemingway was at his best before noon. Edison, inspired by the dark. At Compaq, we understand that ideas aren't governed by a clock. That's why we're standing by 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to answer your computing questions. Galileo, definitely a night person. The 24-hour helpline from Compaq.
How do you know which motor oil to buy? They all look alike, they feel alike. You can't see them working in your engine. Well, first you ask the people who know cars best, ASC certified master technicians, and then you ask them which oil they put in their own cars. More top mechanics use Valvoline than any other brand of motor oil. Valvoline can help cars go 100, 200, 300,000 miles and more. So before you buy oil for your car, know the one more top mechanics put in theirs.
People who know use Valvoline.
College football on ABC Sports has been brought to you by American Honda, who has been making quality cars in America for the past 10 years. U.S. Army, learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be. UPS, the package delivery company more companies count on. And the light beer with a great imported taste, Amstel Light. Right. 25-yard line, Penn State ball, first down. They trail 24-6. They've got 11-17 to play in the ball game, and Kerry Collins is back to set up a screen pass to Kajana Carter. And Carter is finally out of bounds up at the 42-yard line. So they get a big play and get some room to operate.
It's a good tactic by Penn State, and that is if you're having trouble throwing the ball downfield, little screen pass to one of your guys that can break it all the way. Here's a second half possessions. The first was an interception, and then they've got in good field position all 3 times, a block punt, fumble at the end there. It's not been pretty in the second half.
Collins looks for his second man and throws underneath, and Lorenzo Stiles has him wrapped up. Carter out of the backfield. Now a story from John Saunders.
Keith, as we mentioned earlier, there was tragedy today in Madison, Wisconsin, the game between Wisconsin and Michigan. The Badgers win the game. Then following the game, the fans rushed the field and knocked over a retaining fence. Fans were trampled. In fact, we have reports that 57 people are injured. WIBA in Madison reporting that, at least 1 critical. Back to you.
My goodness, it's too bad. We must control our enthusiasm. Dangerous. Running the ball into the middle is Kajana Carter. And he's got a big play out of it. Another first down for Penn State inside the Ohio State 45-yard line. Remember, was it last year we were up at Syracuse and they were leaning over the edge at the Carrier Dome. The rail collapsed.
Yes.
You never know. Kajana Carter now with 22 carries and 116 yards. On a cold, snowy day in Columbus, Ohio. Back goes Kerry Collins. He looks down the middle. He lets it fly way down there. It is well incomplete, far beyond the hoping and reaching arms of Freddie Scott. Defending was Marlon Kerner.
Not a bad idea. You need something quick. If he'd thrown that ball more to the inside of the field. Collins 13 of 34, 122 and 3 interceptions. Not a good day by any means, but you got to understand this is not a good day for quarterbacks to be out throwing footballs.
Kyle Brady was open again for about 15 yards.
That was worth the shot downfield, Keith. He just needed to throw it more to the inside.
Kajana Carter picks up about 3 yards on the carry. I imagine Kajana's going to have a pretty good nap on the way home. He's been busy today. Young men from Westerville, Ohio, coming back to his home state to play.
When you start throwing the ball for Penn State, you usually look for Bobby Ingram. He came in with 29 receptions and 8 touchdown passes on the year. Today, he's only caught 1 pass for 15 yards.
They've handled him so far. The tight end dropped it. Same place he was in a while ago, and again was wide open. And Collins threw him a bullet, and he didn't handle it.
What they're doing a lot of, Keith, is they're doubling the outside wide receivers. Here are the 2 safeties. Watch as this safety will favor the outside, and this safety will favor here. The tight end is open down the middle of the field. They're not giving any respect to the tight end. He's down the middle of the field. He could have kept going. And that may be why, because Brady can catch the intermediate stuff some of the time, but doesn't have the speed to get deep.
4th and 7. 4th and 7 as Collins throws, and it is incomplete. And Bobby Ingram was over there by himself because Walton Taylor, the free safety who had rolled up to help on the play, fell down. And Ingram didn't catch it.
Wide open is an understatement. This is 4th down, as you mentioned. Exactly. It's double dome. The short man jams him. He's got help deep. There's the safety. Can't see him. Just falls down out of the picture. Ball's a little high. He had to jump for it, but the first thing you got to do is catch it and make the first down.
You know, if life were perfect, women would let guys drink milk straight from the carton.
Yeah, and guys would ask before taking food off your plate.
Women wouldn't answer a question with a question.
Why not?
If things were perfect, you'd like watching sports on TV.
Yeah, and you'd let me hold the remote control.
Wow. At least there's Amstel Light.
It's only 95 calories.
But it still has a real imported flavor. I mean, it tastes great.
Amstel Light is better than Kraft.
It'd be perfect if you didn't always have the last word.
No, it wouldn't.
never even thought about it. Guess I just didn't want to face things.
Yeah, I've been there.
But now, my parents, they need real help. It's gonna be tight. We'll just have to manage somehow.
I got this guy at Payne Weber. Put me in a mutual fund for my parents. Same time he set up my kid's college fund.
That long ago? How do you know about your parents back then?
He asked.
Ignition? Check. Tachometer? Check. Anti-lock brakes? Check. Air conditioning? Check. Dual airbags? Check. Check. Cruise control? Check. Power sunroof? Check. 7-speaker stereo? Check, 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 check. Check, check, check.
The Prelude VTEC from Honda. Check it out.
Here's a look at today's top 10. Everybody is winning that has played or is playing. Arizona plays at UCLA tonight. We understand that Charlie Ward, injured rib, could have come back if they needed him, but didn't.
Ohio State's ball, first down at their own 42. Butler Benote is in there at tailback, and Bob Hoying is in at quarterback, and Jeff Cochran is your fullback. All those big dudes are still up on the front line, and there's a loss on the play of 2 yards as Benote carries.
Here's a look at some of the leading players in the nation. David Palmer today, 181 all-purpose yards.
I'm becoming a fan of Palmer.
He convinced me.
Oh,
Charlie Ward had a great day, and Schuler.
Look at what Palmer's done. The last 3 weeks have been incredible.
Yep.
That's what he did the last 2 weeks, and he threw that 54-yard pass to set up the win over Ole Miss. Count him up.
He convinced me last week.
Whoa. He's something. Second down and 12. So is he. Again, right down on the 40 is the Nittany Lions. They just never quit. They don't understand that word. That's a word. It's a foreign word. It's not in their vocabulary.
Yep. David Palmer with over 550 yards total offense last 3 weeks. Heath Schuler, 13 of 22 and 171 yards today. He threw his 20th touchdown pass of the season.
What a joy he must be to coach. Third down, 11. Clock running at 7:50. Play in the ball game. 24-6. Ohio State leading, and Raymond Harris is colored and taken down. And that first hit was Brian Monahan, number 36, a senior from Wexford, PA. And it'll bring up the 4th down, and in comes the punting team. So the Lion defense does its job again.
Line of scrimmage, Scott Turner to the punt. On Ingram back for Penn State.
Pressure. Hunter's down. No contact, no flag. Ball picked up by Ingram, and it'll be first down, Penn State, 40-yard line. Here's Lynn Swann.
Kurt, last year's starting quarterback, Kurt Herbstreit, right here with me, radio sideline reporter for WBNS. Tell me, Kurt, what's the difference in this ball team from last year?
Well, I tell you what, I think the difference between this team and last year is the fact that the unity is really here. You can obviously see it, and also the big play of Joey Galloway. It's incredible what he can bring to an offense, and the quickness and just a big play threat. It's something we lacked last year. Let me ask you, you've been upstairs being a color analyst. Now you're down here. How do you like it?
Well, I enjoy it. I mean, the intensity, you feel the game more, and I can see that this ball club has a lot more maturity than they had in 1992.
I'll tell you another thing. When you look at the Big Ten, can you stack the Big Ten up with some of the better teams, the Miamis and Florida States? Do you think Ohio State deserves to be up there with them?
Well, I think they certainly do. They're playing very strong. But let me ask you, you get a chance to get behind this bench and walk behind the players and talk to them during the ball game. What are they saying during this game tonight?
Well, they're excited. They've been excited for really a couple weeks now, looking forward to Penn State, having Coach Paterno come into the league, into the conference. It's just an exciting feeling here in Columbus. We want our shot at the national championship.
Well, sounds like you're doing a great job, Kirk. Thank you very much.
All right, Lynn, take care.
Now, let me explain that to you, folks.
I thought that was weekday afternoon around 4 o'clock, some talk show here.
Kirk Herbstreit was working live radio for Ohio State radio broadcast. Of course, Swanee is working live television for us. So they're interviewing each other and being heard on their respective mediums.
And it's interesting that the ex-quarterback, Herbstreit, didn't mention the offensive line as being a key factor in their offense today. He mentioned Galloway, the receiver.
Well, that's typical of you quarterbacks. Mike Archie carries and blows it around the corner and picks up a first down for Penn State. I like this Archie. He's pretty good. He's 5'8", got 206 pounds, and he's quick.
Ohio State Buckeyes, these are the teams they've played. The tough ones are Illinois, Michigan State. They're already past those two. Looks like they're going to get by Penn State here this afternoon.
Pass intended for Mike Archie.
And let's go on to the remaining schedule. They control their own destiny. Wisconsin, they're at Wisconsin. Then they play Indiana at home, and then, of course, they're at Michigan, their arch rival. But Ohio State and Wisconsin, the two teams now in the Big Ten that control their own destiny, because Wisconsin and Ohio State play at Madison next week.
Ingram and LaBarca are the two wideouts coming to the bottom of the picture. They're the burners. And Collins rolls that way and throws complete to Ingram. And he's got a first down for Penn State at the Ohio State 22. And there's a penalty flag back up around the line of scrimmage. So Nebraska has come, 4 points now as Colorado's trying to make a comeback. And you got an ineligible downfield for Penn State. Boys are getting tired now. It's late in the game. It's been a fight down in the trenches. Cold day, wearing day, big game. And it's about this point, concentration is hard to maintain.
Mistakes that killed Paterno's team against Michigan 2 weeks ago. Jumped offside on a 4th down field goal attempt by Michigan that was no good and gave them a first down. They eventually scored a touchdown, and then they allowed a punt return to be returned for a touchdown.
Gary Collins again throws, and Ingram can't quite reel this one in. It's just a little bit too high. He was open, as Ohio State is now dropping into what amounts to a deep defense. Prevent. I'm trying to find.
Yeah.
Tonight, a special Halloween treat. The Olsen twins from Full House, starring in their brand new holiday movie, Double Double Toil and Trouble, with Meshack Taylor and Cloris Leachman. Then the premiere of the new Paula Poundstone show, all tonight here on ABC. And I don't know why I remember it, but I remember Chris Economaki used to tell me he went to high school with Cloris Leachman. I have no idea why I remember. On the play goes Kajana Carter. Boy, it's snowing like the dickens right now.
It really is.
A lot of folks have gone home, too, thinking and believing their team has things in hand and under control.
If I were to ask you the biggest surprise this year in college football, team-wise, which team, I mean, in a positive way, and not in a negative way, in a positive way.
Well, I might want to think about that a second.
Yeah,
Auburn. I can tell you right quick. Auburn. 4th down. Pass intercepted. Picked off by Walton Taylor, his second of the day. And 40 seconds to play in a ball game, and it's the 4th interception and the 5th turnover for the Nittany
Honey, we're leaving in 10 minutes.
While virtual reality isn't quite here yet, The car is the new Accord from Honda.
Imagine a cold tablet that keeps symptoms from coming back 24 hours. New Effadac 24. Sudafed lasts 6 hours, Tavist D12. But one Effadac gives consistent relief 24 hours. Effadac keeps cold symptoms from coming back.
Introducing the Quantum Random Orbit Sander. It works 4 times faster than a finishing sander with swirl-free results. So now you can tackle any project from start to finish. The new Quantum line from Black & Decker.
At BASF, we don't make the sneakers, we make them bouncier. We don't make the car, we make it more colorful. We don't make the leather, we make it jazzier. We don't make the helmet, we make it more comfortable. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy, we make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
Well, unless the sky falls here, this is what it's going to look like at the Big Ten standings when this one is done. Ohio State remaining the only undefeated team in the Big Ten. Penn State dropping to 2-2 with the 2 losses. They go back there with Michigan State, a loser today. And that's 2 pretty good football teams that have 2 losses in the conference. Raymond Harris and William are the backfield people with Harris, who has been our workhorse all day, as has Kadana Carter for Penn State. And he's going to have 3-4 yards on that carry. 5.5 minutes to go in the ball game, and once again, very heavy snow.
You know, Keith, we're talking about surprise teams. You mentioned Auburn. A team that surprised me a little bit was Ohio State. This is the first time we've seen them. We knew that they were going to be in the top 15 or 20, but seeing this team today, you know, another team is Notre Dame, losing all of the players that they lost. And losing that backfield, 2 number 1 draft choices and a number 2 out of the backfield, a tight end that went number 1 in the draft. A little bit of a surprise.
They got a bit of a wake-up call today when Navy led them late in the second half, 24-17. They came back to win big, and they've won some games ugly.
Yep.
But it's becoming a very solid football team.
How about some teams that have been disappointing? Disappointments.
Michigan's at the head of my list on that.
Syracuse too. Syracuse was right up there.
I never did have Syracuse as high as some folks did.
Yeah.
But, I just didn't think they had the horses in the trenches.
Exactly right. They've got their skill players back, but in the lines is where they're suffering, and that's what Ohio State has. As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, they have it in the lines, both on offense and defense.
Big people, big fast people beat little fast people. It's an eternal truth in the game of football. Raymond Harris keeps on digging and is very close to a first down, and looks like the mark is going to be good for one. With 32 carries and 151 yards now for the Ohio State tailback. The Pac-10 game, you see the Southern California had a big day at Berkeley. Stanford got by Oregon State's wishbone, and Oregon's beating Washington State. And Harris is leaving the game, and he's getting some attention, and he should.
Taking the ball. Yep.
Eddie George is now the tailback. He is a sophomore from Philadelphia, 6'3", 227, number 27. Fresh legs make a difference. They just run him into the stack and give him a yard on the carry, and we are at 3.5 minutes. We are now just turning down the fire in this one with an 18-point lead, meaning that Penn State would have to score 3 touchdowns to overcome the lead of Ohio State. It's a seemingly impossibility. Miracles happen. That's why we keep an eye on the clock for it. I think the Ohio State defensive people pretty well have this ball game in hand.
I think it's pretty safe to say that.
Don't want to close the door too soon. There goes George.
It's a big win for Ohio State and a big win for John Cooper. Last year, toward the end of the season, beating Michigan, beating Michigan was a big thing, and they got the tie, and it was almost like a win for him. I said early on that the team that got 200 yards today on the ground would be the winning team, and Ohio State looks like they're going to be that team.
And now for something different.
New Domino's Thin Crust Pizza. A crispy, crunchy crust pizza. It's a whole nother taste in a whole nother way. All right. Put that snap back in your life and always get
something for nothing when you call Domino's.
Ignition? Check. Tachometer? Check. Anti-lock brakes? Check. Air conditioning? Check. Dual airbags? Check. Check. Cruise control? Check. Power sunroof? Check. 7-speaker stereo? Check, 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 check.
Check, check, check. The Prelude VTEC from Honda. Check it out.
This is hydroplaning in less than an inch of water, and they're being pulled by Goodyear all-season AquaTread radials. AquaTread's deep groove design channels water away as you drive for outstanding traction. Hydroplaning, AquaTreading. Think about it.
Joe Paterno, who has a burning ambition to take a football team to the Rose Bowl game. Apparently this is not to be the year because his Lions are about to suffer their second loss in Big Ten Conference play. Ohio State, remaining undefeated, now becomes a considered favorite to win the conference championship, I think. And this is Eddie George, those fresh legs we were talking about, and he picks up his first down. And we've got 2:40 to play in the game. Next week will be quite a test for them as well. They have won an emotional ball game today. Then they've got to go on the road to Wisconsin, which is having a big, big year for them. And you know that Barry Alvarez will have his people 40 feet off the ground waiting for the Buckeyes to come to town, and we will cover it for you.
Wisconsin gets the 2 biggies in the Big Ten at home back-to-back. They got Michigan this week and Ohio State at home next week.
Buckeye path to the end of the season is not easy, but it's a pretty good football team. I'll tell you right now, that's a pretty good football team wearing the red shirts down there. As far as I'm concerned, they fully deserve to be ranked 3rd in the nation.
Some people thought with the loss of Robert Smith, the running back who left early to go to the pros, that they wouldn't have anything in the halfback closet to pull out. But Harris and Bonote and George.
I think the departure of Robert Smith was an additive in the unity factor that Herb Street talked about a while ago.
I think that is the unspoken thing when people talk about the unity and the closeness of this team this year. That is not said, and that is the problem that surrounded Robert Smith, and we don't need to go into all that.
Here comes George again. Well, he came in, he was nice and pretty and clean about 3 minutes ago, and now he is a mess. 1:15 to play in the ball game. Time winding down. Nebraska has defeated Colorado. The Cornhuskers remain undefeated, and right now you'd have to say the Orange Bowl has a pretty good shot at matching undefeated teams on New Year's night.
They are the highest ranked bowl coalition. The Orange Bowl is, with Nebraska sitting at 4, and if everything remains the same, they will play the winner of the Notre Dame-Florida State game.
Of course, don't forget, Florida State still got to go play in Gainesville after they play Notre Dame.
That's true. They could win against Notre Dame and lose against Florida.
That's right. This is Eddie George breaking through for a first down. So he becomes the workhorse. And you've got a half a minute to play. And the crowd whooping it